Welcome to the gateway to the game here at Spillane Field in Wareham. Sunday night baseball with the Gatemen set to play host to the Cotuit Kettleers. With Sean Malone, I'm Mike Monaco. Megan O'Brien, the third member of our team, will join us in just a few minutes. Sean, Wareham, with its first shutout win of the season yesterday against Falmouth, a 4-0 win. Kyle Cotuit, boy, was he impressive. 7 shutout innings. He only allowed 3 hits. He struck out 6. What type of lift does that give the team today?
A huge lift, especially considering the last time they were home. Just the ugly performance they had. The pitching was marginal in that game. The fielding was absolutely terrible. The bats were all right in that game, but they bounced back. The bats were solid in last night's game, and the fielding was absolutely perfect, except for maybe that one blunder with Rosenbaum cutting off Lacey, but that's still something that you're not going to hang your head on. But you mentioned the pitching, just absolute lights-out pitching from Kyle Cotuit as well as Scott Efros, who came in, struck out the side in the 9th inning to put it away. Huge lift is what they're going to feel from this. It's going to do a lot in terms of giving them momentum moving forward and improving their morale.
Yeah, well, it got the Gatemen to 5-11 on the season. Tonight they face Cotuit. The Kettleers come in at 8-8. Both teams have endured their struggles this season and will be looking to make something happen here tonight. What do you expect from tonight's matchup? Jake Kalish gets the ball for the Gatemen.
A new pitcher for the Gatemen, Jake Kalish, someone who's just gotten here, but I'm going to focus on the fielding.
Okay.
Because while it has been a problem recently, they did have a great fielding game last night, but you don't want to see that as a once-in-a-while type of thing. You need to field great on every single night. Fielding is something where you should be in the 90% in terms of how often you're completing your plays, at the least 90%. So look for the Gatemen to continue their good fielding that they had last night. No mistakes, no overthrown balls, no trying to force a play that isn't there. Just solid, clean baseball on the field for the Gatemen.
Yeah, the bats were one thing that weren't really there yesterday against Falmouth. They got helped out with a balk, a few errors, general mishaps by the Falmouth team. But these bats this season for Wareham have been exceptional. They've carried the team. Do you expect that to return as soon as tonight?
I expect it to return. This Gatemen lineup from top to bottom has a ton of good hitters.
Yeah.
They also have some very good hitters on their bench as well. They can call up if they really need a pinch hit situation or a big hit. They have people that they can go to. It's a very deep offensive team. So I anticipate it's going to bounce back, and if it doesn't bounce back tonight, it's not going to go away for very long. Even back in the beginning of the year when the bats were a problem, it wasn't the hitting so much that was a problem, just hitting with runners on.
Yeah.
They've fixed that problem for the most part, and they're doing a good job consistently hitting with runners on base. So I anticipate that the bats will return, maybe not tonight, but at some point. They're not going to go away for very long, though.
Yeah, and we'll see if the pitching can pick up right where Kyle Cotuit and Scott Efros left off last night. And for more on that, here's Megan O'Brien.
Thanks, Mike. Earlier today, I had the chance to catch up with pitching coach Jim Lawler, and he talked about the excellent performance of Scott Efros along with Kyle Cotuit today. A new man on the mound in Kalish's arm, and I had a talk with Jim Lawler about that earlier. Let's take a listen. I'm joined by pitching coach Jim Lawler. And Coach Lawler, there's a new pitcher on the mound today. What do you think so far of Kalish?
Well, number one, he's coming off rehab. He's had Tommy John, and he's thrown. So we're going to have to watch his pitch count, but he's a mature veteran guy who's been in the league before. And so I expect him to throw strikes, and he's a good sinker ball pitcher, and I'm expecting him to give me 4 or 5 innings at least.
Now, yesterday, Kyle Cotuit came out and got the job done, and then you had Scott Efros come in with great closing. How has the pitching staff been adjusting to this league?
Well, they got adjusting to me more than anything. But no, they got to get out and get rid of the extra effort that they think they have to do to pitch in this league. They just got to pitch. And I thought both those guys, third time out now, starting to settle in, and they both were outstanding last night.
Now, you told us earlier you're still trying to see what guys have to try to develop some type of lineup for pitching and some type of rotation. How is that development going?
Well, I think the biggest thing right now, I'm trying to start some guys and then roll them over and relieve them. So it's giving me more opportunities. Instead of staying with the same 5 guys, like you look at Ryan Olson, he started relieved and he's starting. Number one, for their development, I'm trying to do both and see where they're better because I've never had them before. Because if you're going to win, you got to have closers. Any Frozers right now are a better guy there, but we need more than one when you're playing every day. So I like to give them different roles. The Williamson kid I've started and put him in the bullpen. And you find out more. Some guys can't relieve, but some throw a lot better relieving because they don't think. Just go out and throw. And so that's the reason you roll it, because they don't know what they are either yet.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today, Coach Lawler, and best of luck to you today.
All right, thank you.
Kalish will be on a pitch count tonight and look to see someone who might not typically take on that closer role to fill in there tonight. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Megan, and pitching coach Jim Lawler for joining us here on the gateway to the game. Back up in the press box, I'm Mike Monaco, and I'm here with Sean Malone. Sean, we heard it from Coach Lawler and from Megan. Pitching staff with changing roles, and tonight it is Jake Kalish on the pitch count like we heard. What do you expect from him? He's making his summer season debut, but he was here in the Cape League 2 summers ago with Brewster, so this isn't unfamiliar to him, and he's coming off of Tommy John surgery. 14 months removed from that, he played the last half of his season at George Mason after recovering. What do you expect here in outing number 1?
Well, first of all, with the innings limits, we talked recently about how Gatemen pitchers have struggled to go in deep into games. But with a couple games in a row now, the Gatemen have been able to work deep into games, including last night, Kyle Cotuit pitching a full 7 innings. You know, in the past, I'd be a little worried about a pitcher having a pitch limit just because that forces the Gatemen once again to dig into their bullpen, which they've had to do quite a lot this season so far. But with a couple days on, without having to go to too many people in the bullpen, including last night, only Scott Effross needing to come in and pitching, I think that the Gatemen can finally afford to have a game where they have a pitcher on the mound who has a pitch limit. I'm curious to see how he's going to perform. I always wonder if it gets in the head of some pitchers when they know they have a pitch limit, think, oh, I got to be efficient, I got to keep throwing strikes so they hit it in the dirt so I can get ground out so I can last longer. You almost have to think with the mentality of you don't have a pitch limit. Just go out there and pitch. Don't even try and count in your head. It's easier said than done because you know it's going to, no matter what, sit in the back of your head and you're going to be thinking about it. But that's something you have to block out. You have to just focus on the at-bat at hand. You can't worry about whether or not you're creeping up on your pitch limit and you want to get out of the inning because that's how you get yourself out of trouble, into trouble.
Yeah, and Sean, like we said, the starting pitching has been its best 3-game stretch of the whole summer. 5 innings from Brock Hartson, 5 1/3 from Brock Downey, 7 shutout yesterday from Kyle Cotuit. The hitting's been good the whole summer. The fielding, not so much. What's the biggest key out of those 3 areas for Wareham to start making a run up the standings?
Well, normally I would say the pitching needs to come around, but obviously with the pitch limit on Kalish today, we can't expect him to go deep into the games. So I'm going to touch back on a point that I made earlier, the fielding. The fielding has to continue to play well. They can't have another game where they have 4 or 5 errors and expect to come out victorious. You can't hand runs away to the other team. A great example is last night's game. They had 2 runs handed to them. Say they make a few mistakes and hand a few runs to the opposing team. That game could have been tied 2-2 very easily in last night's game. Say a couple mistakes don't go the Gateman way and they make a few themselves. Usually fielding is the difference maker in some close games, and they're going to need to continue to field at an efficient rate if they want to win consistently.
Yeah, no errors yesterday, but just 6 hits. We do expect, like we talked about in the open, the bats to come back. We were speaking with one of the scouts there yesterday in attendance, and he said this is the most impressive batting practice group of all 10 Cape League teams that he's seen. There are a lot of good bats on that team, and I spoke with Cooper Ferris before the game about that very comment. He said, well, yeah, I mean, it shows. We're leading the league in hits in a lot of offensive categories. They've really done that the whole summer. Tonight, we'll see if that continues. But for now, we'll get you the Cotuit starting lineup, penciled in by manager Mike Roberts. Logan Taylor, he'll bat leadoff and play third base. Rhett Wiseman, fresh off Vanderbilt's national championship, is into the lineup here, his season debut, back for a second summer. He's in right field. The number 3 hitter is Caleb Whalen. He mans second base. The first baseman and cleanup hitter is Austin Byler. Jake Fincher bats 5th and plays center field. Jackson Glines is the designated hitter, and he's in the 6th spot. 7, 8, 9 is Drew Jackson, Colin Shaw, and Casey Schroeder. Jackson at short, Shaw in left, and Schroeder in center field. The right-hander doing the pitching is the 6'5" Pepperdine Wave, Jackson McClellan.
For the Gatemen, leading things off once again is Willie Calhoun. He'll be at second base tonight. He'll be protected by Blake Lacey, who plays the opposite side of him at short. DHing and batting third is Keaton Aldridge. He'll be protected by Halmandaris, who returned to the lineup for the Gatemen last night. Halmandaris is manning first once again. Jake Little roams center field and bats 5th. Right behind him, batting 6th, Danny Rosenbaum, who plays the hot corner. Charlie Warren will be behind him in left field. Behind the plate
Batting eighth is the catcher John Borman, and in right field, rounding things off, is Corey Ray. And Jake Kalish is on the mound, as mentioned, for the Gatemen tonight.
Kalish, the left-hander, out of George Mason, and he makes his summer debut for the Gatemen, standing at 6'2", 200 pounds. We mentioned he came back for about the back half of this past season. He made 5 starts, had a 3.03 ERA in 35 2/3 innings pitched. A guy who doesn't walk a lot of batters. He only issued 4 free passes while striking out 37. He's really focusing on developing his consistency, as the way he described his couple of seasons at George Mason, in one word: inconsistent. And that's why he comes to the Cape. That's why guys do, to develop and to continue that progression.
And it's great for that reason, because you get so much experience in the Cape in such a short period of time. You know, you're coming off your college season where you've been working on quite a bit of things, and then you're able to keep working on that in the Cape and maybe get some other people's perspectives too. For the Gateman example, Jim Lawler, their pitching coach, we're talking about 32 years of pitching coach experience that you get working with you now. It's going to be invaluable to work with a guy like him and to continue to practice your trade and expand your basically your training for another 10 weeks is going to be huge in terms of developing consistency.
Well, right now, we're going to check in with the Cotuit broadcast team, specifically Greg Mraz, one of the play-by-play broadcasters for the Kettleers. I'm joined here on the gateway to the game with Greg Mraz, our broadcaster today from the Cotuit Kettleers. Greg, how you doing?
Mike, it's a great day for baseball here at Spillane Field. First time that the Gatemen and the Kettleers are squaring off here this year. This was a place where Cotuit won all 3 games last year, but obviously Cooper Ferris and the Gatemen are trying to turn the ship around from a disastrous last season.
Well, speaking of turning things around, Greg, the Kettleers come in with back-to-back wins. What have you seen from them? They've gone back to playing the small ball style, and players really seem to be buying in. Is that what you're sensing?
Well, in 2 games against Hyannis and Brewster on Tuesday and Wednesday, they were outscored 22-2. They gave up 11 runs in their last 3 innings to Hyannis in that game against Hyannis. And the off day, and I spoke with Mike Roberts earlier, the off day was really a day for everybody to get themselves right, but the team was still at work. Against Hyannis, a team that, number one, they're already playing for the 4th time, which is ridiculous in the sense of the way the scheduling turned out, but they came out, they didn't hit, but they hit situationally. They got 2 runs in the 2nd inning on sacrifice RBI bunts, and that was key because Vince Fiore, the Kettleers starter, got out of a bases-loaded jam in the bottom of the 1st. Hyannis, essentially, their balloon was deflated. Then Cotuit comes back, they get 2 runs, and one thing leads to another, and Logan Taylor hits a home run. The Kettleers score a lot late. They end up winning 6-2. And then yesterday, it was just a great pitching performance against Harwich, who's been the best team in the league. I don't think anybody would argue that. Logan James and Adam Witt combined for 13 strikeouts, and Adam Witt, he pitched 2 2/3 innings. He struck out 7.
That's crazy.
It's just unbelievable how much this submariner has really developed. He was a guy who didn't receive a scholarship offer, and he was the last walk-on kept at the University of Nevada. So, I mean, this guy is an incredible story. He is the go-to guy in the Kettleer bullpen, and basically everything's come together over the last couple of days. People are hitting situationally. They are laying down the sacrifice bunch, which is a big part of Mike Roberts' baseball. And when you get good pitching, great defense, and timely hitting, and I don't even talk about the one defensive play. Top of the 9th yesterday, with the tying run on, Kyle Barrett of Harwich hits a ball out into left center field. Colin Shaw, new arrival from Texas, lays out full extension. If he doesn't catch that ball, it's a tie game. Makes a great catch, game over. So those 3 things together, that's what's made these last 2 games great.
Yeah, and we'll focus on the pitching here, continuing that thread. Today, Jackson McClellan gets the ball. His 2nd start of the summer. The first one, only 4 innings, 3 runs in that 9-1 loss last Saturday to Yarmouth Dennis. What did you see from him that day? That was a tough day all around against the Red Sox.
Well, a weird trend is the Kettleers have given up a lot of runs in the 3rd inning. They have given up the majority of their runs. In fact, the statistics say that they have given up more than half of their runs this season in the first 3 innings of ball games, and that is still including the 11 runs that they gave up to Hyannis in the last 3 innings of Tuesday's ball game. Jackson McClellan is somebody who comes from Pepperdine. He comes from a very strong pitching staff, a pitching staff that includes former Brewster Whitecap and 3rd-round pick of the Philadelphia Phillies, Aaron Brown. But Coach Roberts was working with McClellan in a bullpen about trying to get himself less flat going towards the plate. And Coach Roberts does a great job in terms of analyzing mechanics. So he said he hopes to get 4 to 5 out of McClellan today. Really, his only bad inning in his appearance against Yarmouth Dennis was that third inning in which he lost command of the strike zone. When you lose command of the strike zone, a lot of the times you end up grooving, get me over fastballs that, number one, don't have a lot of velocity, but number two, they don't really have a whole lot of movement in the zone, and when you throw balls right down the middle, they're going to get hit hard.
Well, the Gatemen will look to continue just that tonight. The offense going up against McClellan. Greg Miraz, thank you for joining us.
Mike, always appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you. Mike Monaco, Sean Malone back inside the broadcast booth as we get set for first pitch, starting an hour earlier tonight, 6 o'clock start time, and we are just minutes away with autograph night to follow. The Gatemen dishing out those prized signatures, and a lot of fans will be hoping to get one signed item from a future big league player. Chances are they'll get one. Mike Monaco, Sean Malone, we'll be right back. Coming up next, first pitch at Spillane Field here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and WCTV. A good Sunday evening to you, and welcome to Spillane Field here in Wareham, where the Gatemen are set to battle the Cotuit Kettleers for the second time this summer. Thanks for joining us on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and WCTV. With Megan O'Brien and Sean Malone, I'm Mike Monaco. Sean, the Gatemen, they're at 5-11. The Kettleers, they're at 8-8. Both teams have had some trying stretches this season with some lengthy losing streaks, but right now both of them played well this weekend, with some wins yesterday. Cotuit took down Harwich 3-1. Wareham with the shutout win 4-0 over Falmouth. It was a great, outstanding pitching performance from Kyle Cody, 7 innings. He only allowed 3 hits. And tonight, Jake Kalish gets the ball, looking to make it back-to-back victories.
Yeah, the Gatemen are turning to a new arm in Jake Kalish. So Cotuit has absolutely, at least from the Cape perspective, they haven't seen him throw it all yet. The Gatemen haven't either, though. So I'll be curious to see how he does. Keep in mind, he also does have a pitch count limit. So look for Cotuit. If Kalish does come out and starts pitching well early on, he's got a lot of movement in all 4 of his pitches. You look for them to try and eat up at-bats, try and extend them as long as they can, fight off anything that's going to be close to the strike zone, and get Kalish out of there quickly.
Well, the left-hander from George Mason is walking out to the hill right now. He'll take the rubber and make his season debut, just activated earlier this morning. All hands on deck for the Wareham pitching staff that has struggled this summer but has been good of late. 3 great starts in the past 3 outings, and Kalish will look to make it number 4, a guy who has pitched in the Cape League before. He tossed for Brewster 2 summers ago with the Whitecaps. He made 3 starts, 5 appearances out of the bullpen, 18 1/3 innings. He had an ERA near 7, but valuable experience here on Cape Cod. And he comes to the other end of the Cape, here in Wareham, and will get the ball for the Gatemen tonight. Kalish had Tommy John surgery in April of 2013, so he's 14 months out from the surgery. Trying to bring back some of his consistency. He did throw the final half of the season for George Mason this past season. Had a chance to pitch in the Atlantic 10 Tournament Championship and also in the NCAA Regional against Texas A&M. And a week ago, Sean, he was cleaning gutters, trying to make some money on the side. He was working for a contractor. And here he is tonight on the hill for Wareham.
Yeah, amazing how quickly things will turn around when you get a call from the Summer League. So I'm curious to see, also what kind of shape he's in. When the last time he was throwing at all. Yeah, I wonder how much throwing he's done ever since he got the call to when he came here as well. So that may play into inconsistencies if he's maybe just not up to game speed.
Yeah, helpful, I think, for him, Sean, that he did throw in the postseason for George Mason, and still a little bit of a layoff, but he's out there tonight. Jake Kalish, the brother of Ryan Kalish, currently playing with the Chicago Cubs, formerly in the Boston Red Sox organization. Kalish grew up a Red Sox fan, very close with his brother, and he takes the hill right now to face the Kettleers. They come in at 8-8. They will send Logan Taylor, Rhett Wiseman, and Caleb Whalen to bat here in the first inning. Kalish, the left-hander, 6'2", 200 pounds, and he misses low. We are underway at 6:02. The southpaw features a fastball, a cutter, a curveball, and a changeup. This is fouled off 1-1. Home plate umpire tonight is Roger Saraiva. Mickey Garcia is at third, and Joe Caraco at first.
Lineup for the Gatemen from left to right in the infield: Rosenbaum, Lacey, Calhoun, and Halamandaris. In the outfield, it's Warren, Little, and Corey Ray. And behind the plate, John Borman.
Borman part of that three-catcher rotation with Chris Chinea and Keaton Aldridge, but certainly the best defensive catcher of the bunch. 2-1 from Kalish, and it clips the bottom of the zone, strike two. Kalish, like we talked about, had a chance to start the A-10 championship final, a game that George Mason won 3-2 in 10 innings over VCU. That bounces in, so the count goes full to Logan Taylor. Kalish went 9 innings in that game. It finished up in the 10th. Only allowed 2 runs on 7 hits. He had 7 strikeouts. Pretty good for someone still on the road back from Tommy John. Rung up, Logan Taylor takes one low in the zone, and Jake Kalish fans the first batter he faces this summer.
And Logan Taylor thought that was ball 4. He already dropped his bat and started heading down the line, and that one looked to be inside, but according to the home plate umpire, clipped the zone.
Kalish gets out number 1, just underway at Spillane Field. Wareham and Cotuit starting an hour earlier tonight. Typical 7 o'clock start time at Spillane Field, but as we mentioned, in the gateway to the game tonight is autograph night. Fans getting Gatemen autographs afterward. First pitch strike to Rhett Wiseman is taken. Wiseman, the rising junior at Vanderbilt, so he just got here. He was activated yesterday after winning the national championship with the Commodores. He swings right through the curveball for strike 2. Wiseman was here last summer with Cotuit. He was an all-star for the Kettleers. Batted .294 and led the squad in the regular season with 25 runs batted in. They won the Cape League title. 0-2 cut on and miss, strike 3. Jake Kalish has back-to-back punch-outs here in the first.
Number 6, Caleb Whalen.
And looks like he got him on the outside with an off-speed pitch. Just out in front of it was Weissman. Just couldn't try. It looked like he tried to see if he could slow his bat down, extend his hands, and just fight it off foul, but couldn't get anything.
Nicely done by Jake Kalish. What a way to start. Now he'll deal with Caleb Whalen, the right-handed hitter who enters hitting just .178, but he'll drop one down the third baseline and it trickles foul. That's one of the things very typical of a Mike Roberts coach team. Roberts, the manager of the Kettleers, loves playing small ball, and his team has really bought into that, Sean. In the last couple of games, they had a 3-1 win yesterday, and then on Friday a 6-2 win over Hyannis. Loves to drop down sacrifice bunts, loves to steal bases, and they'll really do it in any count and with any situation. With 2 outs and Rosenbaum was playing back, the number 3 hitter drops one down.
Yeah, 2 outs, nobody on. And you mentioned Rosenbaum playing back. That's why they dropped it down here.
Cotuit went through some tough stretches here. They began the season at 4-2. Then they dropped 4 straight, but got back with a couple of wins, then a couple of losses, and then 2 more wins here this weekend. This is popped up to the right side. Nick Halamandaris has it, and Jake Kalish has a 1-2-3 first inning in his Cape League debut. Bottom of the first inning on the way. The Gatemen coming to bat, but right now, here's Megan O'Brien for more on Danny Rosenbaum.
2012.
Thanks, Mike. I had the chance to catch up with Danny early in this game. He'll be taking on that third base role all by himself now that Andrew Kisner has departed from the Cape League. Let's take a look and see what he had to say. I'm joined by Danny Rosenbaum, the third baseman for the Gatemen. And Danny, before you were kind of sharing that role with Andrew Kisner, but now it's all up to you. How does that feel?
Feels good just to know that I'm expecting to be the guy every day. So just, you know, I guess it's a little more pressure on me just to perform every day, but I feel like I'm up to it.
Now, you told me last week that you typically play first, but you can play third. How has your adjustment been so far to just primarily third base?
Well, at school I mostly play first, but last summer here I played a lot of third base, and I enjoy playing over there, and I feel like I'm pretty comfortable after playing just 2 games over there this summer. So I feel like I'm making a pretty good adjustment.
And now, how does a clean game like yesterday's win help you going into today?
It just gives us confidence and gives us a chance to get on a roll, and as a team just to continue to keep playing good baseball and trying to get another win today.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck to you today.
Thank you.
Next week, another third baseman will arrive to join Danny in that role, but look to see him progress and improve through the next coming week. Back to you, Mike.
Happy 100th birthday to the Chatham Bars Inn, one of the world's most honored resorts.
Back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and Wareham Community Television, we go to the bottom of the first inning. Nothing doing for the Kettleers in the top half against Jake Kalish. He came out very sharp in his summer debut. 2 strikeouts and then a pop out to first base. And Willie Calhoun will lead things off for the Gatemen against the 6'5" right-hander from Pepperdine, Jackson McClellan.
And look for Calhoun to swing at the first pitch he sees that's in the zone.
And he does cut on that and just nicks it foul backwards. Calhoun, boy, has he hit this summer. He comes in leading the Cape League still, as he has been the entire summer, with 11 doubles. Leads the league with 24 hits as well. That's ball 1 from McClellan. Calhoun really just has remarkable ability, Sean, to seemingly always barrel up the baseball. Lines this out to right field, sinking fast, and that's caught in right by Rhett Wiseman. 1 away.
And what a play by Rhett. He came on, and then it started hooking towards his left, our right, away from him. It looked like he was going to misplay it at first, but was still able to dive and extend and make that grab for the out.
Calhoun hit it sharply right at him, and Wiseman, making his summer debut, made the grab. He's in right. Jake Fincher is in center field. Colin Shaw in left. Around the infield, it's Logan Taylor, Drew Jackson, Caleb Whalen, and Austin Byler at first, with Casey Schroeder doing the catching. Blake Lacey, the batter now, facing McClellan. Second start of the summer for the Pepperdine Wave. He pitched last Saturday against Yarmouth Dennis. It was a 9-1 loss for the Kettleers. McClellan only went 4 innings and he gave up 3 runs. This is on the ground to the shortstop Jackson. The throw is in time for out number 2.
The designated hitter, number 7, Keaton.
McClellan gave up 5 hits, 2 walks in that game. He only struck out 2 batters. He's in the weekend rotation for the Waves. Made 14 starts, threw right around 80 innings, and he had a 3.53 ERA. The right-hander facing Keaton Aldridge, looking for his own 1-2-3 inning. Big cut there for strike 1.
So far, McClellan's been extremely efficient in this inning here.
The righty delivers, and Aldridge off the end of the bat to the left side, staying in play, and the catch is made in foul ground by the third baseman Logan Taylor. That ends the inning. So 6 up, 6 down combined here at Spillane Field, off and running through 1 inning. No score on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and WCTV.
Curry College offers 20 traditional undergraduate degree programs, over 65 minors and concentrations, and a wide array of extracurricular activities ranging from 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams to an outstanding theater program. Explore Curry College online at curry.edu.
To the angels and singing in my head. You look so good naked next to me. The angel in my bed. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. I feel like a drug that's cooking in my veins. I'm so out of my mind. I'll shoot you up again. Stand up, stand up, stand up.
No score. We head to the top of the second inning at Spillane Field. Gorgeous night for baseball. Warm, comfortable, slight breeze rolling through on the gateway to Cape Cod. Both pitchers with clean and crisp first innings, and now 4, 5, and 6 coming to bat for the Kettleers against Jake Kalish. Austin Byler, the batter, one of the best bats in this Cotuit lineup. Wareham certainly knows that. Byler made his season debut when these teams faced off a couple of weeks ago and blasted a home run out to right field. Also had a double in that game. Byler, a big-time prospect. He was drafted in the 9th round by the Washington Nationals. Still doesn't know if he'll sign with them or go back to Nevada for his senior year. Hits this slowly on the ground to second. Calhoun with the underhand flip, one away.
Nice play in the field there by Calhoun. He had a lot of ground to cover getting to that ball. But when he was able to get to it, he got the toss off quickly. Didn't have to rifle it at first, so he was able to just get the underhand flip out quickly.
And what'd you see, Sean, from Wareham's fielding yesterday? Because like we've talked about at length, it was 20 errors in 7 games. But yesterday, everything was crisp. Certainly not a lot of balls were put in play against Kyle Cody. That helps too. But it seems like they were much more focused.
Yeah, and I think that's what I saw was the focus was there. And, maybe it took manager Cooper Ferris chewing them out to get to that. We mentioned that after the game the other night. He was talking to them for what must have been a half hour, maybe longer. It was an extremely long time before the players were finally released.
Jake Fincher with a line drive snared by Willie Calhoun. 2 outs.
Yeah, and while we're on the topic of fielding, Calhoun makes a really sweet gem right there.
Picked a perfect time for the web gem. How about that? Willie Calhoun, more known for his offense, still finding his way in the field defensively. Didn't play a whole lot of second base at Arizona in his freshman season, but was all over that tailing line drive off the bat of Jake Fincher, the center fielder. And Jake Kalish has 2 quick outs here in the second. Jackson Glines, the left-handed hitting designated hitter, bats and takes outside. But yeah, I think to your point, Sean, the fielding so much better, and you might have to think about that Friday conversation when Cooper Ferris yesterday telling us he lit into them pretty good. The response yesterday was equally good. Outside corner for strike 1.
And you've played sports, and I've played sports, and we've always had, I'm sure you've had coaches scream at your team. I've certainly had my fair share of coaches screaming at me and my team, and I've never seen it go on for that long, however. I don't know about you, but a half hour, he had a lot on his mind.
High fly ball from Jackson Glines to center field, handled by Jake Little. 6 up, 6 down for Jake Kalish. He's looking sharp in his summer debut. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning when we come back. No score between Wareham and Cotuit.
For a quarter century on Cape Cod, Eye Health Services has been providing the best in eye care to our community. Is seeing the game not as clear this year? Having trouble seeing the stat sheet? Let us help you see all the game up close and in the outfield. Make an appointment at one of our 10 convenient locations on Cape Cod or the South Shore. Eye Health Services, we are here for you.
been born in the state of Mississippi. Papa was a copper and the mama was a hippie. In Alabama, she was swing a hammer. Price you gotta pay when you break the panorama. She never knew that there was anything more than gold. What in the world does your company take me for? Black bandana, sweet Louisiana, robbing on a bank in the state of Indiana.
15 minutes into tonight's game, and we're already in the bottom of the second inning, Sean.
It's almost my turn to start doing play-by-play before you know it.
I better get off the mic. Bottom of the second inning, Halmendaris, Little, and Rosenbaum set to face Jackson McClellan. No score at Spillane Field, and the first pitch is a strike. McClellan's fastball sitting in the low 90s in the first inning. An intriguing right-handed arm.
You know what, Mike? Now that you mention it, this half inning is going to take half an hour.
We'll see if that is the case. Wareham has certainly had its share of big innings this summer. That offense, Sean, has been so good. Only 5th in the league in runs, but first in hits, tied for first in doubles, second in total bases. This offense has hit the entire summer. A lot of that has to do with the lineups at the top, the bats at the top of the lineup, rather, but really top to bottom, there have been a lot of guys who can produce. 1-2, and Halmendaris tips it in the mitt of Casey Schroeder. First strikeout of the evening for Jackson McClellan.
Yeah, he just kept absolutely everything away from Halmendaris, and there's nothing he can do. Being a lefty and being as big as he is, he likes to pull the pitches that are inside, but when you keep it away, he's going to struggle.
Halmendaris was working quite a bit in batting practice on that very pitch away. Wasn't able to handle it there from McClellan. One away, bottom of the second. Nobody on for Jake Little. Little yesterday, 0 for 3. 3 strikeouts. He did have a sacrifice fly to score a run later in that game. He's getting tied up quite a bit with pitches inside, and he worked with manager Cooper Ferris on that spot. Hard hit ground ball to second, mishandled by Whalen, and there's going to be no throw. Whalen comes up a little bit gimpy. It looks like it just hit off his left leg.
Yeah, I think what, at least from my perspective, I saw when it hit the stone dust, it didn't have as big as a hop as it did when it first hit the grass, and it came very flat at him, and I think he got it somewhere on the ankle, right around that area on the inside of his left foot.
So it gives the Gatemen their first base runner for either team, that is, Sean. Here tonight, we've talked about Wareham's struggles defensively. Well, Cotuit hasn't been as great either. Mike Roberts, the manager, has talked about a lack of polish for his team this summer. Runner at first with one out for Danny Rosenbaum. He swings at the first pitch. Rosenbaum, as we heard from Megan, in between the top and bottom halves of the first inning, will have a lot of opportunities now to man third base. Andrew Kisner has departed from Wareham. He was off to a good start, the third baseman from NC State. This is off the handle. Whalen's going to get another chance, and he boots this one as well. Little trying to go to third. The throw from Wiseman, not in time. Runners at the corners on a couple of errors here in the second inning.
And Little almost got tagged out that time because he didn't slide into third. Taylor made the grab and tried to apply it, but just couldn't get it across.
Struggles for Caleb Whalen at second base. He picks up his 4th and 5th errors of the inning here. 4th and 5th errors of the season here in the second inning. So runners at the corners for the Gatemen. Still no hits in this ball game, but Wareham with an excellent chance to score. The batter here is Charlie Warren, the outfielder from Rice. He cuts on the first pitch and swings right through it. Warren hitting at .302, but he's 0 for his last 7, and we saw him striking out, looking, and just not really getting a good look at a lot of pitches yesterday, and that's something he talked with Ferris about earlier today, trying to change the tilt of his shoulders. He was leaning back a bit with his swing, and more now trying to straighten those up. Ferris thinks it'll give him better vision at the plate. Swings at this in the left center field, falling fast on the run is Fincher. He won't get to it. Little comes in from third. Rosenbaum into third. And Wareham strikes first. Charlie Warren with an RBI single.
Nice job there. Give a lot of credit to Rosenbaum, who saw that was going to drop in from the start. So he came all the way around from first base, and he was hustling from first too. And that's why he's now sitting at third.
Well placed by Charlie Warren. look for a sec like Jake Fincher might get to that, Sean. He does have good wheels in the outfield. And then Warren on the throw does advance to second, so with one out, Kettleers are going to bring the infield in. Here's John Borman, the catcher from UT San Antonio. Big cut at the first pitch. Borman only has 19 at-bats this summer. Given the 3-catcher rotation, only 5 hits for him. 2 of those came against Cotuit a couple of Thursdays ago when these teams faced off at Lowell Park. Borman's hit with a breaking ball that didn't drop into the zone at all, and the bases are loaded up.
Yeah, the breaking ball didn't drop, and Borman didn't give too much of an effort of getting out of the way of that one. Sort of looked like he just tensed up for the hit and took one for the team.
Yeah, braced himself for the slow breaking ball from Jackson McClellan. So now they're loaded for Corey Ray, the number 9 hitter, right fielder from Louisville. Infield in for Cotuit all the way around. McClellan with a first pitch fastball for strike 1.
And this is a big opportunity for Corey Ray, who hitting-wise has had a slow start to the season for the Gatemen.
Yeah, Corey Ray looking to get going at the plate, and good opportunity for him to do some damage here. Little scored after his infield single, so it wasn't an error on Whalen. The second one was, so that put Rosenbaum at third. Warren at second, Borman at first. The pitch. Fly ball into the outfield. The left fielder Shaw back a few steps. Rosenbaum's going to tag up. Shaw with the throw. Play at the plate. In time, Rosenbaum gets through the slide.
Rosenbaum barely ahead of that tag there from Schroeder. Looks like Schroeder almost got him on the back before Rosenbaum's foot crossed the plate.
How about that? Danny Rosenbaum looked like he might be out at the plate. It was a strong throw from Colin Shaw, but Rosenbaum is called safe by home plate ump Roger Saraiva. 2-0 Gatemen. Warren stayed at second, and Borman at first. Corey Ray with the sacrifice fly. Back to the top of the lineup for Willie Calhoun. Here's that long inning you were talking about,
yeah.
Sean. Jay Kalish has set down the first 6 Kettleers he's faced. Jackson McClellan retired the first 4 that he faced. Since then, though, the Gatemen have found a way to get something going. Little had that infield single, then an error, then an RBI single. Then a hit batter, a sacrifice fly as Calhoun pops this one up to shallow right field. Whalen puts this one away, and the inning is over. But the Gatemen jump out to a 2-0 lead. Some troubles in the field for Cotuit, and it's 2-0 Wareham as we go to the 3rd inning, coming up next on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and WCTV.
Visit our website, gateman.org, for the latest Wareham Gatemen and Cape Cod Baseball League news, information, and everything you need to know about Gatemen baseball. Again, that website is gateman.org.
Where it began, I can't begin to knowing, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you.
Back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network, Jake Kalish has already pitched 2 innings, Mike, and he's only used 19 pitches. You know, we talked earlier during the gateway to the game about how his pitch count may limit him from going deep into the game, but if he keeps this rate up, hey, he may go pretty decently well into the game.
Yeah, he's looked fantastic since stepping onto the hill tonight.
First pitch is going to be fouled off by the shortstop, Drew Jackson, out of play.
You know, he had those 2 strikeouts in the first inning and then had a ground ball in the second, then that line drive right at Calhoun that he really made a nice play on, and then a fly ball to center field. So contact against him, but nothing's been absolutely roped, and obviously nothing finding holes either. He hasn't allowed a hit yet.
Yeah, and that's the kind of pitcher he is. He has a lot of pitches that drop, the cutter. His fastball's got some life to it. He has the changeup and the curveball. He's a pitcher that he's not going to blow things by you. He's not going to really wow you with any of his stuff. He wants you to hit those ground balls. He wants you to hit those pop flies straight up into the air. That's the type of pitcher that Kalish seems to be.
Yeah, and like we talked about, terrific control. Just 4 walks this past season in 35 2/3 innings pitched. As a junior in 2013, 8 walks in 30-plus innings on the hill. I mean, he just doesn't walk guys. 3 walks when he was here on the Cape earlier.
2-2 outside, 3-2. He's in danger of walking Jackson here as Jackson works a full count.
So I very well might be jinxing him right now.
The 3-2 pitch. This one is going to be hit and through on the ground for a base hit in between Rosenbaum and Lacey. Put that down as a single for Drew Jackson to left field.
Yeah, that for Drew Jackson, trying to get going. He was 3 for his first 28 this summer. Entering tonight's game, had a hit the last time he played on Friday against Hyannis. That was his first hit since his first game of the summer against Bourne on June 17th. So hits have been few and far between, but Drew Jackson might be starting to come a little bit alive for the Kettleers. They could use that.
Pitch is a curveball in there for strike 1 against Colin Shaw.
I mean, Sean, this is a Kettleers offense tied for last in the league in runs with just 53, and that's why we're seeing them play a lot of small ball. I mean, that's how Mike Roberts likes to play anyway, but they've needed to find ways to propel what has really been an anemic offense.
And when you play small ball, what you're essentially saying is when you do get a runner on, you're basically just showing how valuable and how important that runner is to you because you don't anticipate getting many more in the game. That's why you're willing to sacrifice outs to try and just get 1 run home, as there's a snap throw down to first from Borman. Getting back in time is Jackson.
I'm not sure, Sean, if the reason that we're seeing John Borman in both these games against Cotuit is intended by Cooper Ferris to defend against the Kettleers running a lot, but it's worked out pretty well that Borman's behind the plate against this Cotuit team that, as we know, they love to run. Mike Roberts' teams routinely lead the league in stolen bases. This year they're second. They've already swiped 28 bases this summer.
Well, the first time around, I'm going to say that it was intended, not because of Cotuit, but because it was Brock Hartson who was on the mound, his teammate out of UT San Antonio. So for that reason, I would say it's intended. So maybe it just happens to fall that way for the Gatemen. You know, they haven't changed their rotation, at least not that I've noticed. I don't believe that they skipped a day with John Borman. So I believe it's just falling that way, but it works out having him behind the plate. The 1-2 pitch. This one is chopped down on the dirt to Lacey. He scoops it up onto second for 1. That's all they're going to get as Calhoun can't get a throw down to first.
Very close play there as well. Jackson was legging it to second base, and Lacey got rid of that ball very quickly. Took him a little while to get to it because it was so slowly hit, and he was playing up the middle, but strong throw, quick release, got it to Calhoun in time for the first out.
And in terms of fielding, Lacey, strength-wise, has a very good arm. He can really rocket it from shortstop, but his accuracy can be off sometimes, as we've seen throughout the years. As we've seen throughout the season as the runner takes off. This one's hit straight up into the air on the infield. Willie Calhoun comes on. He makes the out, 2 away.
Tough break there for the catcher, Casey Schroeder. Swinging at the first pitch, he thought he saw something he liked, but Jake Kalish going to the changeup there. The bottom drops out of it, and it's popped up on the infield. The reason it's a tough break is because Colin Shaw got a good jump and looked like he might be able to steal second.
So now Logan Taylor from Texas A&M digs in. Shaw leads at first. Kalish sets. The pitch. Curveball outside, 1-0.
Yeah, Kalish has looked really solid on the hill so far tonight, Sean, with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Everything's been around the strike zone. We expected that, but also showing some pretty good movement. The fastball, we heard some reports from some of the scouts here that first inning, it was in the upper 80s. And, hey, if he can sit there with control and with movement, that'll play.
Not bad for a guy who was cleaning gutters not too long ago.
Exactly.
Pitch. Snap throw down to first. Not in time as Shaw barely makes it back.
Yeah,
Looked like Borman may have gotten him there for a split second.
I think Shaw was just able to get back, but that was as close as we've seen one of those this summer. Borman, we know how aggressive he likes to be behind the plate, whether it's trying to pick off runners or throw out base stealers. He's exceptional at both.
Check down throw to first from Kalish. The 1-1. Curveball outside. That one hits the strike zone. 1-2.
Yeah, great story with Jake Kalish working his way back from Tommy John surgery. Was able to really contribute to George Mason this past season as they went to a regional. First trip for them to the NCAA since 2009.
That one goes through the legs of Borman all the way to the backstop. Advancing to second is Shaw, which is where he'll stay. And Kalish taps his chest with his glove looking at Borman and says, that's my fault.
Yeah, the ruling is, though, a pass ball on that. I think that's one we usually see John Borman block behind home plate, Sean. He hasn't done a whole lot of that, letting things go through the wickets, and you can see him. He's grimacing at home plate right now. Knows he let one get by to put a runner into scoring position.
Yeah, he just got beat 5-hole right in between the legs there. You got to get that glove down. So now the count is 2-2. This one fouled back off the fence. Count remains the same.
It was an outstanding season for the Patriots of George Mason there. Atlantic 10 championship, their first season in that conference. First time they had won a conference title in any conference for baseball since 1992. Kalish played a huge role in that with the 9 innings of 2-run baseball in the decisive game over VCU. So always nice when a guy can return from the injury and still find a way to help out his team that season.
Especially an injury that requires Tommy John surgery, such a hot topic now in baseball. You know, in terms of preventing injuries to the elbow that would require Tommy John, it's almost getting to the point where it's getting as much discussion as concussions in football. The 2-2. Curveball left up high a little bit, fouled straight back by Logan Taylor. That's pitch number 35 of the early evening for Jake Kalish.
Yeah, entered this frame with just 19 pitches total through 2 innings. It was 6 up, 6 down for the southpaw to begin his evening.
The 2-2. That one's low and inside for a ball. Count is full 3-2.
I really like that pitch selection there from Jake Kalish on the hill. Breaking ball that just plummets through the zone on Logan Taylor. Looked for a second like he was about to swing at that. Enticing pitch for facing a guy like Taylor. He struck out 10 times this summer.
The 3-2. This one is hit into the dirt. Foul. Logan Taylor having a nice at-bat here. Time is called at the plate. Kalish taking too long, so Taylor wants to step out for a sec. The 3-2 pitch. Curveball on this one is lifted high in the air and deep to right center field. Outfield is converging. This one is over the wall for a home run. So right like that, the game is tied up now at 2 apiece.
Well, Logan Taylor got the curveball again. He took his time. He sat back on it. He waited on it, and he blasted it out to right center field. Impressive home run right there for the third baseman from Texas A&M.
And that's why you foul off pitches. You do it on purpose when you have 2 strikes against you, because you don't want it to be a called strike looking, and also you don't want to try and hit it into play and then get yourself in trouble. You want to just keep fighting it off until something like that happens. A curveball left up in the zone. Pitch. This one is dropped down for a bunt. It's a nice one down the line. Rosenbaum picks it up, throw on to first. That one goes over the head and into the foul territory there in right field. Rounding second and heading for third is Wiseman. Throw is not cut off by Lacey. Instead, it's stopped by Kalish. He holds his hands up like everybody calm down. Risky play there to try and throw that one all the way back to third. We've seen that story before. It didn't work out well for the Gatemen last time.
Well, we've talked about it. Cotuit loves to bunt. Wareham struggles defensively. Danny Rosenbaum still inexperienced at third. He's played the 2 games over there, and he's going to play a lot over there right now that Andrew Kisner's out. And Rhett Wiseman, that was a well-placed bunt. That would have been a single anyway, and it is ruled a single and then the error on Danny Rosenbaum. I mean, Wiseman, a nice job to drop that down. I think if you're Danny Rosenbaum, you know Wiseman has good speed. Stick that one in your back pocket.
Rosenbaum hasn't played third a whole lot recently. He has played third on a good amount on his career, but not so much of late as the pitch is taken high for ball 1. Things starting to unfurl here for Kalish. That pitch is in the dirt for ball 2.
Yeah, Kalish, a veteran guy. Now he needs to make sure it stays at 2-2 the score, and pitching coach Jim Lawler will come out right now. I mean, you give up the home run, what can you do? You give up a bunt, there's an error. That's out of your control to an extent. Now it's about coming back, getting this last out here, and keeping this a tie game after the 3rd inning.
Minor action in the bullpen for the Gatemen is it looks like there is someone out there who's starting to swing his arms and warm up and stretch. Not quite pitching or doing any pitching motions yet, just getting his body ready in case he's called upon. As Kalish finds himself behind 2-0 here with a runner threatening on third. Kalish sets. Weissman at third. Fakes like he's going to steal home. Pitches on the outside for ball 3. So Kalish, who doesn't walk quite a lot of batters, in danger of putting runners on the corners. The 3-0. That one's low for ball 4, so it's a 4-pitch walk for Caleb Whalen. Now there's runners at first and third.
And chance here for some more 2-out damage. Kettleers could really use a big inning, and here's a dangerous bat in Austin Byler trying to supply some more offense.
I almost wonder if Kalish has Cotuit in his head a little bit after that long home run to right center field, and then the bunt that just got messy. So now Austin Byler, the cleanup hitter, steps to the plate. The pitch to him. Swung on and missed. Big hack there from Byler. Count is 0-1.
Yeah, well, Byler, a guy with a whole lot of power. 14 home runs this past season. As a junior at Nevada, we talked about, drafted in the 9th round by the Nationals earlier this month, and hit one of the farthest balls we've seen hit this summer when Wareham was over at Lowell Park. He just crushed one to right field.
Be a nice organization to go to. A lot of young stars on the team that'll be veterans by the time you make it up. You know, one check swing, did he go around? Yes, he did, says home plate umpire Roger Saranaya.
Really good job there by Kalish to come back quickly, get ahead 0-2, and that time he tied Byler up.
Runner takes off, and they have him in a rundown now in between first and third. The runner's going to head home. The snap throw to home from Lacey. He's going to one-hop past Borman and go all the way to the backstop. Advancing to second is Whalen. He's going to move all the way to third now because of that. And here we go, Mike. Some fielding blunders by the Gatemen. There was a throw by Rosenbaum at third, and then Lacey, for some reason, decides to go home and just one-hop into Borman rather than make a clean throw. He had plenty of time to get the throw off.
Yeah, well, that was tough because Kalish didn't realize it till a little bit late, and by the time he stepped off and threw to second, well, Wiseman had a chance to get well off of third base, and Kalish gave a soft throw to second base and threw it a little bit high, and then Lacey, I think, rushed the throw home, not accurate to Borman, and Cotuit goes up 3-2.
It's going to be a foul ball, says the home plate umpire. So Byler's going to come back. Now there's a runner at third, and the Kettleers have the lead.
So it's an error on Blake Lacey that allowed Wiseman to score.
Pitch is fouled into the dirt. Count still remains 0-2.
Just a whole different feel to this inning. I mean, you think about it. Kalish sets down the first 6 that he faces. He starts out the inning by getting ahead 0-2 here in the third to Drew Jackson. But then Jackson singles. Then there's the 6-4 fielder's choice, and then a pop out. There's 2 outs, and then Taylor hits the home run. Then a bunt single, an error, and then a walk, and then another error here, and it's 3-2 Kettleers.
Seems like the focus just hasn't been there for the Gatemen, at least in this inning here, from both Kalish and the field. Now there is someone warming up in a bullpen for the Gatemen. This one's sliced foul. Nice job by Byler to stay alive despite falling behind 0-2. Looks like it's Ryan Williamson who's warming up in the bullpen for the Gatemen. Stepping off the mound is Kalish.
They're really making him work and making him think on the mound. Caleb Whalen now the one being active. Wiseman was before, and it was Whalen who just started running to second and forced Kalish into that throw, and then Lacey into the error.
The 0-2, and this one is lifted high in the air and deep to right field, and that is the second home run of the inning for the Kettleers. Another 2-run shot to right center field, and they're now up 5-2. The nightmare inning for the Gatemen just continues.
Wow. And you can't hang one to Austin Byler like we talked about. 14 home runs this past season. He picks up a huge one right there, launching it, his third of this summer. I mean, that is an absolute bomb here to right center field. That's where we saw Kyrie Washington go. Well, this one cleared it by a whole lot more in right center.
Yeah, that one was one of the furthest home runs. Definitely competing with Kyrie's over dead center field that we've seen here at Spillane Field on the season so far. 2 outs, John Borman comes out and has a quick word with Kalish. Williamson still warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah, and pitching coach Jim Lawler looking down in that direction. Not sure if he'll let Kalish face Jake Fincher here. Looks like he might not.
Yeah, and here comes Jim Lawler, and he's looking down to the bullpen. So I imagine we're going to get a new pitcher here. And a rough outing for Jake Kalish. It looked good up until this point. He's thrown 28 pitches in this inning, and everything just unfurled on him. So there will be a new pitcher for the Gatemen when we return. The day for Jake Kalish is over. We'll be right back after this. The score is 5-3 Kettleers here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
shots.
New pitcher for the Gatemen is Ryan Williamson. And Mike, things just completely unfurled in the field and for Jake Kalish.
2 2/3, 4 hits, 5 runs, but only 2 of those, Sean, are earned. 2 errors in the inning for the Gatemen. They could have been out of the inning after the 2-run home run from Logan Taylor.
First pitch from Williamson is low and inside and rolls all the way to the backstop as it got past Borman.
And the thing is, Sean, you can't hang pitches. I mean, you can't hang pitches to most guys in this league, but certainly not to Taylor and Byler. Both of those guys now with 3 home runs apiece, tied for the Cape League lead.
Yeah, and they were both, it looked to be the same pitch. A curveball just left upstairs. No real break to it. Just kind of flat, and they got crushed, those pitches. The 1-0 is outside, 2-0 the count. And for Williamson, you don't want to come out here and then put the first runner on. 2-0. Slice straight up into the air. Shallow right field behind first base. Halamandaris backs up and makes the grab to end the ugly nightmare inning for the Gatemen. But 5 runs are put up on the board, courtesy of 4 of them coming off 2 separate 2-run home runs for the Kettleers. We'll be right back after this. The Kettleers find themselves on top 5-2 here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Join the thousands of other Gatemen fans following us all year long on Twitter. Stay up to date online or on your mobile device with the latest Gatemen news and information. We'll be tweeting during all of our games with score and game information. Follow us on Twitter at Wareham Gatemen.
Well, I started out down a dirty road. Started out.
Back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network, Gatemen got some work to do if they want to come back in this one, as they find themselves behind now 5-2, courtesy of a big inning by the Kettleers.
Yeah, and it's all because, not all because, but a lot of that's because of the 2 errors. I mean, it was all 5 runs were scored with 2 outs, and those 2 errors were a huge problem for Wareham, and the fielding problems continue. They came into tonight second to last in the league in fielding percentage, second most errors with 27. They already have 2 more here as we go to the bottom of the 3rd from Spillane Field.
First pitch is a fastball on the outside for strike 1. Lacey fights this one back out of play to go behind 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Inside, Lacey jumps out of the way of that breaking ball. 1-2 the count. The 1-2 pitch. This one is chopped back up the middle. It goes off the glove of McClellan. Throw on to first is in time, however, as Whalen was able to recover.
Nice job by Caleb Whalen, sticking with that after the slight redirection. And Whalen had a tough second inning in the field there, but recovered to end the inning nicely. Made a good, solid play on a pop-out that ended the second, and then starts the inning here in the 3rd by making the routine play.
Pitch. This one is going to be pulled and through for a base hit under the glove of Whalen and into right field. So Keaton Aldridge is able to reach base for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Keaton Aldridge, boy, he's just been hitting all summer. I mean, he came into tonight, only 34 at-bats, like we talked about. Tough to find playing time. consistently with the 3 catchers, but 14 hits for him, and he now has a hit in all 11 games that he has played this summer.
Halamandaris steps up to the plate. Infield at double play depth. Snap throw to first. Getting back in time is Keaton.
In big-time struggles, Sean, for Wareham in the top of this inning, but when they have an offense this good, and still so much time left in this game, 7 trips to the plate, plenty good chance that, you know, they can make a comeback in this game. They just need to avoid to shore up the defense, really.
And it could start right here if Halamandaris could get a nice hit and move around Keaton Aldridge to second or third. That would certainly help bring the confidence back in this team. The 0-1, outside, 1-1.
Yeah, and McClellan continues to try to work Nick Halamandaris away.
One to the first baseman from Cal, outside, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fought off foul, straight back, and out of play.
McClellan has only given up the 3 hits. 2 of those came in the second inning for the Gatemen. Charlie Warren's RBI, and the infield single for Jake Little.
The 2-2. This one is fought off foul. The pitch was away against Halamandaris. Doing a much better job in this at-bat of fighting off those pitches to stay alive.
Yeah, he definitely knows that that's the place where pitchers are going to try to work him. Very compact swing.
The 2-2. Outside for a ball, 3-2.
It's a very compact swing, so at times it seems like he struggles a little bit to reach that pitch on the outside part of the plate.
The 3-2. Outside, ball 4. So Halamandaris works a walk.
Yeah, good job of Nick Halamandaris right there, just seeing everything that McClelland was going to throw to him, and it gets the Gatemen with runners at first and second and the 1 out. And Mike Roberts will come out and chat things over at the hill with his battery.
0 action in the bullpen for the Kettleers. Nobody standing up at all. No one stretching. Absolutely nothing going on there. Jake Little coming to the plate, who's 1 for 1.
This Cotuit pitching staff has struggled this summer. 4.02 ERA as a team. That's the 4th highest in the league, and they've had to lose some of their pitchers, some of the guys who were producing for them. Sam Tavis from Wichita State was shut down with an injury. Daniel Lewis no longer with the team. He got off to a hot start.
Jake Little digs in, middle infield, still at double play depth. Curveball hits at the strike zone. Count is 0-1. McClellan gets set, stares down at second, the 0-1. This one is going to hit back up the middle, grabbed by the second baseman, throw on the shortstop for 1, on the first double play. So the Gatemen will leave 1 stranded after that nice double play. 4-6-3 to end the inning. So we'll be right back after this. Score remains the same. Kettleers 5, Gatemen 2 here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Get the latest Wareham Gatemen and Cape Cod Baseball League merchandise at our online store or swing by our booth at Spillane Field during all home games. There are a number of new items for 2014, including a large selection of hats, t-shirts, golf shirts, sweatshirts, and other novelties.
Sun beat down, I had the radio on, I was driving, trees went by, was flying. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery. Going wherever.
Back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network as we enter the top of the fourth. Ryan Williamson still on the mound for the Gatemen.
The designated hitter, number 25, Jackson Glines from Michigan.
First pitch from Williamson, high and inside for a ball. The 1-0 inside, ball 2.
I think it's pretty important, Sean, for Ryan Williamson to come out and give the Gatemen a strong inning from the start here. I mean, you're facing Glines, Jackson, and Shaw. Come out and set the tone. Get a couple of quick outs because Wareham really needs to put a stop to Cotuit's momentum right now.
Halamanderas meets on the mound quickly with Williamson. Now he deals, and that's upstairs for ball 3. So very quickly, it's 3-0 for Jackson Glines. Pitch, low and outside, hit the corner for strike 1.
And that's a good spot for Ryan Williamson. Live down there, low and away. Doesn't matter how hard you're throwing, especially to a left-hander. Not a whole lot they can do. Go down and reach for that to try to do something.
The 3-1, and this one is going to be lifted into right field and down for a base hit as it one hops to Corey Ray.
And that's really easy for Jackson Glines at the plate. 3-1, you're expecting a fastball. You get one belt high, maybe closer to letter high, middle of the plate. I mean, that's easy. You just flick the hands out. Line drive single to right field.
So that will bring up Drew Jackson. Jackson is 1 for 1 with a single to left field in his first at-bat. Pitch. High and outside for a ball, and Williamson's location is absolutely off in the game so far.
This is Williamson's 6th appearance of the summer. 8 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 11 runs, 10 of which have been earned, so a 10.80 ERA.
This one is sliced and straight up into the air. Foul territory, first base side. Halamanderas moves over, puts his hand on the dugout, and is able to step away and make the out. 1 away.
Good job by Halamanderas of tracking that ball the whole way. He got over there quickly, put himself in position to go anywhere where the wind might have blown that ball just a little bit. He stayed with it. Wareham gets the first out of the inning. Nice job by Williamson to come back, keep it low in the zone there to Jackson.
A little bit of action in the Gatemen bullpen. There's one player taking long toss and another one throwing some warm-up pitches. One's attempt is pulled back in by Connor Shaw. Pitches on the outside for a ball.
Williamson trying to start out with the slurve there, and I like the idea. Mix it up a little bit. I think they were sitting fastball here through these first couple batters of the inning.
Check down throw at first. One and 0 is the count with 1 out and a runner on first. Cotuit up 5-2 here in the top of the fourth. The 1-0 pitch. That one's in the dirt. Borman traps it and stays with it. 2-0 is now the count.
John Borman, so good defensively, very quick there. And you have to be that quick, Sean, against a team like Cotuit, like we've talked about. They love to run.
Especially when you're at this level of the Cape League where, you know, a lot of these guys are throwing harder or have more movement than most of the pitchers you'd normally be catching. The 2-0. It's right back up the middle. Snagged by Williamson, and they have Glines in no man's land. Easy underhand toss to first for the double play to end the inning. So Williamson with the nice grab to escape some trouble. Ends the top of the fourth. Bottom of the fourth coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and Wareham Community Television.
We encourage you to reach out to our broadcast team at any time throughout the summer. Email us at gatemanbroadcasting@gmail.com and send us any comments, questions, concerns, and other feedback you may have, positive or negative. This is a great way to interact with Megan, Sean, and myself during the season.
1, 2, 3.
Turn it up.
Big wheels keep on turning, carry me home to see my kin, singing songs about the Southland. I miss Alabama once again, and I think it's the same. Yes.
Danny Rosenbaum is going to lead things off here for the Gatemen. He'll be followed up by Charlie Warren and John Borman here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Kettleers on top 5-2.
Sean, how needed was that double play for Wareham, for Ryan Williamson? I mean, runner at first, he wasn't looking sharp at all, and then he gets a line drive, comes right back to his glove, and they double off Kleins at first base.
Yeah, Williamson was looking very off. His velocity wasn't there. His location was all over the place as well as strike one is taken by Danny Rosenbaum. I imagine they may not keep him in this game much longer if he works into any trouble once again.
Right, but either way, I mean, point being, very important for the Gatemen to get out of that inning and to make it quick, I think. That was pretty important there. To get the bats back up, you're trailing by 3. Things haven't been going your way the last couple of innings.
The 0-2 outside for a ball. The count is 1-2, and you're right, getting the offense back out there quickly. Although it did end in a double play, they were able to get 2 runners on with only 1 out in the last inning. You want to get them out there, get them working very quickly once again, as that 1-2 is outside to even things up here at 2.
Right, that hasn't been a problem off of Jackson McClellan, but he's found ways to get out of it, or at least he did in the 3rd inning with that 4-6-3 double play.
Jackson deals. This one is hit on the dirt. Going to be a tough play at short. The throw from Jackson is going to pull first baseman Byler off the bag as he stops it before it goes out of play.
The left fielder, number
Tough
3,
play to try and make by
Charlie
Jackson. I'm
Warren.
surprised he even attempted it.
Yeah, he got it there, but not really close to in time whatsoever. Danny Rosenbaum, a hard hit ball into the hole. Good job by him to get aboard to lead off this inning. First time tonight the Gatemen have had the leadoff man aboard in any of these 4 innings.
So now Charlie Warren steps up to the plate. First pitch on the outside, taken for strike 1. Taylor playing about a foot behind the grass. Now he creeps up a little bit to the grass as Charlie Warren bloops this one into left field. Shaw coming on. It's going to drop in front of him and stay fair. The Gatemen now have runners on first and second.
Second time tonight that we've seen Charlie Warren just go to the opposite field, not try to do a whole lot with it. He drops this one in to the right side of the line, down in left field. First and second now. Number 8 hitter John Borman.
The catcher, number 15,
See if he
John Borman
gets the sign to
from
drop one down.
UTSA.
And now they're going to start to call the corner infield in. Does Roberts, the manager for the Kettleers. And Borman squares the bunt, and he drops it down the third base line. It's going to be picked up, thrown onto first to get the out. But the Gatemen do advance both their runners, and they now have 2 in scoring position.
Yeah, good job by Borman to get it down on the very first try, and good play from Logan Taylor at third base as well.
The right fielder, number 10, Corey Ray.
So Corey Ray steps up to the plate now with 2 on and 1 out. Charlie Warren has a lot of speed there at second base. First pitch to Ray is going to be fought off foul straight back. The 0-1 pitch. High, 1-1. Corey Ray trying to see if he can at least score his college teammate and fellow Louisville Cardinal, Danny Rosenbaum, who leads now at third. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Pitch swung on and missed by Corey Ray. 1-2.
Yeah, he just can't catch up right there. Ray struggled at the plate yesterday against Falmouth, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
The 1-2. Just barely fouled straight back by Corey Ray.
You can see he's motioning to himself. He knows he chased one up in the zone with 2 strikes. Not the end of the world. If I'm a coach, I'd rather have my hitters be a little more aggressive with 2 strikes and make sure they're not leaving anything to the discretion of the home plate umpire, but still, maybe a little too high there.
The 1-2. This one's fought off foul. Count remains the same. Yeah, you want to, if you think it's close, fight it off foul, but you still sometimes, after you foul it off, you have those second thoughts of, you know what, I should have let that one go. The 1-2. High and outside for a ball, 2-2.
Wareham's bench very active over there in the first base dugout.
A lot of their players leaning over the railing, doing quite a lot of talking. Willie Calhoun awaits his turn on deck. The 1-2. This one is hit to the opposite field, foul out of play. Corey Ray digs back in. Jackson McClellan sets. Fires the 2-2. And this one is hit back up the middle, and that'll be through for a base hit. Scoring is Rosenbaum. Charlie Warren is going to stay at third. Advancing to second is Corey Ray. He's safe in at second base. The throw came from center field to home in case Warren tried to advance, and Corey Ray took advantage of that.
Well, Corey Ray, really good job by him all the way around. 2 strikes. He singles back up the middle, enough to score Rosenbaum. Warren got held up at third, but Fincher's throw was strong, and it came all the way in, and Corey Ray, right when he was going around first, he knew he was testing second. He has great speed, aggressive play out of the box by him, and he gets into second base. That's big because now Willie Calhoun's coming up with 2 in scoring position. 2 runs out there, chance to tie the game.
And I didn't recognize the voice, but someone on the Gatemen bench, after a few foul balls from Corey, kept yelling to him, "That's good, wait for yours, wait for yours." And that's what he did there, as the infield starts off in, but now the middle infield backs up a little bit here with 1 out and 2 on. Corey Ray represents the game-tying run there at second base. Willie Calhoun at the plate represents the go-ahead. This one is going to be hit and through for a base hit in between first and second base. And it's misplayed by Weissman in right field. He just ran right past it. Coming around to score is Corey Ray easily. And advancing to second is Willie Calhoun. Calhoun a little slow to get up. Wonder if he got hurt sliding in, but he's definitely going to be satisfied as he now ties the game.
Wow, I mean, we've seen already quite a lot here tonight in just the bottom of the 4th inning. Defensive struggles have been the story for both teams. That's how Wareham got its offense in the 2nd inning. Caleb Whalen mishandling a couple of balls, and then Wiseman just runs right through it in right field, and that allowed Corey Ray to come in to tie this game. Willie Calhoun took an awkward headfirst dive into second base, so trainer Kevin Francis out to check on him, but really big part of this game right now is the Gatemen comeback. They had that blow-up inning, the 5 runs, 2 errors, and Cotuit jumped out in front in the 3rd. Good response here in the bottom of the 4th.
And this has to be such a great thing to see if you're Kalish. I mean, you come to the Gatemen, and you got to come in and you see their record, and you see that, all right, they haven't been doing so well so far, and you struggle in your first outing. But then you see them come back and tie the game up to pick you up. That's got to be absolutely huge for him. So now the go-ahead run is at second base. That's Willie Calhoun, and Blake Lacey steps up to the plate. Now the manager, Roberts, is coming out here to have a meeting at the mound. There is a righty warming up in the bullpen for Cotuit. Warming up in a bit of a hurry. The whole infield is in.
Big spots in this game, and Corey Ray delivering one. He picks up his first RBI of the summer, and then at the opposite end of that, back at the top of the lineup, Willie Calhoun doing what he has done the entire summer. Big-time base hit to right field to score 1, and then scoring 2 off the error in right field.
Meeting at the mound still going on. And we will have a new pitcher for Cotuit as he finally starts making his way in from the bullpen. So the day is done here for Jackson McClelland. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here. Game tied at 5 apiece on Wareham Community Television and the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Getting born in the state of Mississippi. Papa was a copper and the mama was a hippie. In Alabama, she was swinging a hammer. Price you gotta pay when you break the panorama. She never knew that there was anything more than gold. What in the world does your company take me for? Black bandana, sweet Louisiana, robbing on a bank in the state of Indiana. She's a runner, rebel and a stunner. On the mirror way saying, baby, what you gonna? Looking down the barrel of a hot metal 45. Just another way to survive. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess. I'm your priest. Yeah, yeah. She's a lover, baby, and a fighter. Should've seen it coming when it got a little brighter. With a name like Day in California, day was gonna come when I was gonna mourn ya. A little loaded, she was stealing another breath. I love my baby to death. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess. I'm your priest. Yeah, yeah.
New pitcher for the Kettleers is Ashton Parrott. And the Gatemen are threatening here. They just tied the game up at 5 apiece. And Willie Calhoun stands at second with 1 out, representing the go-ahead run for the Gatemen.
Yeah, Calhoun had the single to right field and the error by Rhett Wiseman in right. First error of the inning, second of the game. 3 balls that have definitely been misplayed all to the right side of the field for the Kettles.
First pitch is taken low and inside for strike 1 against Blake Lacey. Lacey's been very impressive since moving up to the 2-hole for the Gatemen. Had some good games and some bad games in the 9 spot. But ever since the promotion has been really excelling as he swings through that fastball there and falls behind 0-2.
He had a strong day yesterday, 2 for 4 with a double. One of 4 doubles this summer. 2 of those doubles, his first 2, came against the Kettleers. First time these teams met. That was out of the number 9 spot like you talked about.
The 0-2. Outside for a ball. Keep in mind, Mike, the only out that's been recorded in this inning was a sac bunt by John Borman.
Right.
So the Gatemen basically gave that out to the Kettleers.
And that feels like it was about 20, 30 minutes ago. In those quick 2 innings, and then things slowing down.
1-2, and this one is going to be hit. Scooped up at short to throw onto third to try and get Calhoun. They got him. Willie Calhoun running aggressively there, but it doesn't pay off as he's tagged out, sliding into third by Taylor.
Well, Wareham, Sean, if you remember last night, they did that 2 times yesterday where there's a runner at second, a ground ball to the left side of the infield to the shortstop, and they tried to advance the runner from second to third, running across the shortstop's face. Both times it worked out. This time it doesn't. Little risky there as that one was handled easily by Jackson at shortstop, and Calhoun is cut down. Tough mistake, not so much a mistake, but just an aggressive decision there.
Keaton Aldridge steps up to the plate. He takes the first pitch on the outside for ball 1.
I mean, it worked out the 2 times yesterday, and if you get the guy up to third, well, that's great. You get him 90 feet closer, you can score on a pass ball or a wild pitch. But this time it takes one out of scoring position.
And I think the big difference was it was hit much harder at short this time. This one is fouled back. I mean, the last few times we saw the Gatemen players either outrunning that ball past it or they had to skip over it before getting to third. This time it got past Willie Calhoun before he was it crossed in front of him before he crossed over it. 1-1 the count. Swung on a miss by Keaton Aldridge. Lacey takes off for seconds. That ball's in the dirt. That one's thrown high, but snagged and saved by Jackson. Lacey is going to be safe at second, nonetheless, however.
I think Schroeder might have had a chance to throw out Lacey. The throw just sailed on him a bit. Lacey was a little hesitant as to if he should go or not on that, and, well, he moves up to second with the stolen base.
The 1-2. Outside, 2-2 is the count.
So just like that, he's back into scoring position right where Willie Calhoun had been, so it doesn't come back to hurt the Gatemen too much.
Time is called by Keaton at the plate. 2-2, 2 outs, and once again a runner at second. This time it's Blake Lacey. The 2-2. High and outside, and the count is now full.
Whole lot of offense all around the Cape League tonight. There's at least 7 combined runs in every game, except the Chatham-Hyannis game that just got underway. They're in the second inning. A lot of offense.
10 combined runs in this game right here, as that's ball 4 drawn by Keaton Aldridge. And Mike, we're not even out of the 4th inning yet.
Yeah, this game has just hit a wall where there's long innings and the bats are making things happen. The fielding is struggling and the pitchers not as sharp, and everybody's had to go to the bullpen now, 2 pitchers aside.
And Mike, through the first inning and a half, it looked like it was going to be a pitcher's duel back and forth with both pitchers being extremely efficient. And now it's starting to look like it could be an offensive shootout this game as Halamandaris swings through the first pitch on the outside there. Count is 0-1.
Yeah, it does look like, I mean, we're already into a bit of a shootout here. 10 runs total is a lot of offense, especially by Cape League standards.
The 0-1. Swung on a miss. The breaking ball low this time. Halamandaris out in front. Now he's behind 0-2.
That's a good-looking off-speed delivery from Ashton Parrott. Keeps it low. He already had Halamandaris out in front because he started him with a fastball, comes across the zone again, and it just takes a nosedive on him.
The 0-2 pitch. Low. Strike 3. Got him looking on the low outside corner. So Halamandaris leaves 2 stranded on base. But the Gatemen are able to tie the game up at 5 apiece. So we'll take a quick break and come back right after this. Megan O'Brien here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Thanks, Sean. Ryan Williamson took the mound in relief today, and I talked to Coach Lawler before, and we heard about different pitchers who typically are closer might be filling in a bigger role today, and that's what Ryan Williamson will do. I spoke with him last week, and he told me that at NC State, one of his biggest role models is Carlos Rodon, picked up in the first round, 3rd pick overall for the Chicago White Sox. They speak now and then, almost every day, he said, before he pitches, and Williamson will have a stab at a bigger role today. Back to you.
Thank you, Megan. We'll be right back after this.
Watch and listen to the Wareham Gatemen on the go by loading the Ustream TV mobile app to your iPhone, Android, or Windows phone. Go to ustreamtv.com or find the link on our Pressbox page at www.gatemen.org.
Crushing the last Lord American night.
5 pitchers tonight, Sean, as Nick Fuller, the left-hander from Acushnet, Massachusetts, takes the mound here for the Gatemen. Top of the 5th inning, 5 runs this side, all tied up, and the Gatemen with their 3rd arm of the night. The lefty Nick Fuller on, and he throws strike 1 by Casey Schroeder, the catcher. Jake Kalish went 2 2/3. He gave up 5 runs. Only 2 of those were earned. Then Ryan Williamson came in to get 4 outs. 2 of those off the double play that ended the 4th inning. Wareham with 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning, Sean, and the Gatemen find themselves all knotted up back into it.
Yeah, and Fuller now on the mound looks a lot sharper than Williamson is. He's quickly got an 0-2 count.
Swing and a miss by Schroeder for strike 3, and Nick Fuller picks up a strikeout against the first batter he faces, 1 gone in the 5th.
Great start from Fuller. The offense was really going for the Gatemen in the last inning. Once again, you want to make this a quick inning, get them out there in a hurry, see if they can continue to pile on the runs against this Kettleer squad.
Cotuit had all 5 of its runs in the 3rd inning. Now they're facing Nick Fuller. It's been all lefties for the Gatemen tonight. Fuller will be a senior next season at UMass Dartmouth. Top of the lineup for Logan Taylor. He had a home run, a 2-run shot out to right field, a ball that just kept going and going. It looked like a line drive off the bat. Looked like Corey Ray might have a chance to get it, and it just kept going and got all the way out of here in deep right center field, one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. Fuller into the windup. Taylor drops one down the first base line, but it trickles foul. Nick Fuller's 4th appearance of the summer. He made 2 starts, 2nd time coming out of the bullpen. A little over 10 innings and an ERA near 7. He's given up 8 earned runs. He's been hit around pretty good, 13 hits. He's walked 5. The last time he pitched was an inning and 2/3 against Harwich on Tuesday. Only gave up 1 run in that game. Wareham relying on him, Sean, I think, to eat some innings tonight.
As you would want with the continued schedule coming up, Gatemen still have a couple of games to play before they have a day off.
Gatemen at home tomorrow, hosting Yarmouth Dennis at 7 o'clock, and then an off day Tuesday. Fuller misses outside to Taylor.
Good pitch to miss on there. 0-2. Just throw it somewhere where it's outside the zone. They have no shot of hitting it. See if you can get him to chase.
That stays high, and Taylor doesn't chase that one. Logan Taylor now with 3 home runs for his summer. He had one of those against Wareham in the first game, another one here tonight. Here's the 2-2 from the lefty. Ground ball softly hit, Lacey charging. And the throw is in time, 2 gone.
It looked like it took a bit of a higher hop on Lacey in the last second. It was kind of flat and then skipped up a little bit. But he's been playing that spot here at Spillane Field for almost the entire season so far, with the exception of early in the year, switching on and off with Justin Brock. So it was nice to so now he should have a feel for the field, understand when it's going to take hops like that when it switches from the grass to the stone dust, and he seemed ready for it, which was nice to see.
Yeah, of Lacey's 3 errors this summer, all but 1 have been throwing errors. That's really where his struggles have been. He's been able to field everything cleanly. Improving defensively at shortstop for the Gatemen. Brett Wiseman batting here with 2 outs, nobody on, and the score tied at 5 in the top of the 5th. Season debut for the right fielder from Vanderbilt. Struck out swinging in the first inning, chased a curveball from Kalish. Then he had that wild bunt single down the third base line in the 3rd. Ended up at third base after the error from Danny Rosenbaum. He laces this one to first, and Nick Halamandaris goes down to get it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Nick Fuller. Great play by Halamandaris at first base. And we're tied up at 5 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and WCTV.
The annual Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Game, sponsored by Friendly's, will be held on Sunday, July 27th at 6 p.m. at Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, home of the Bourne Braves. Gates open at 2 p.m. The game will be preceded by the annual Home Run Derby, and there will be an autograph session with both teams, as well as the large merchandise village with items from all 10 teams. Check gateman.org for all of your Cape League All-Star Game information. Tickets are just $5, and part of the proceeds will support the Wareham Gatemen.
5-5. We go to the last of the 5th inning at Spillane Field. Mike Monaco here with Sean Malone and Megan O'Brien. Wareham, 7 hits tonight. All of those have come in the last 3 innings for the Gatemen. Jake Little will lead off, facing Ashton Parrott, working from the stretch. First pitch swinging, a high fly ball out to left field. Going back is Shaw. He's looking up, and that's out of here. Jake Little with a solo home run on the first pitch of the 5th inning. 6-5 Wareham.
Yeah, and that one was hit straight up into the air. Unfortunately, it was far enough down the line to get over the wall, as that one was close. If that's a bit further and closer to center field, yeah, that one could be caught for an out.
Jake Little with his 3rd home run of the summer, Sean. We talked earlier about the adjustments he had been making at the plate, handling that inside pitch, and well, he wallops this one out to left field and gives the Gatemen a 1-run advantage.
And so far, so good with that. You know, he had the hard single to second and grounded into a double play, but then that home run looked really impressive.
Little leaves the yard for the 3rd time this summer. Nobody out. Last of the 5th inning, Danny Rosenbaum swings at the 2nd pitch and knocks it foul out behind home plate. Wareham's offense just continues to cruise along. 8 hits tonight. They came into tonight's action leading the Cape League in hits with 147. 3rd in extra base hits. Bats have blazed all summer. Parrott misses low and outside. Parrott came on to get the final out in the 4th inning. Now it goes all the way to the backstop. The right-hander from Liberty University. He'll be a senior there next season, a two-way player. This is just his 2nd pitching appearance of the summer for the Kettleers. He went 3 innings last Saturday, gave up a run against the Red Sox. Rosenbaum pops this up, foul ground into the first base side bleachers. Parrott's also had 17 at-bats for Cotuit. 3 hits, one of those a double, 1 RBI. A lot of versatility. Big-time bullpen arm. He had 12 saves for Liberty and also batted .279. He ties up Rosenbaum low and inside, and it's a strikeout here for the first out in the home half of the 5th.
And a nice job there, just throwing something that Rosenbaum can't hit, but close enough to tempt him to swing at it.
It's a spot where Wareham really struggled last night against Ryan Mosley. With righty-righty matchups, the pitch is coming low and inside, and Rosenbaum does there as well. Charlie Warren, the batter now. He's 2 for 2 today. Both times he's gone to the opposite field. First at-bat, he drove in a run. The 2nd time, he set the table and later scored in that inning. That was the 4th inning when the Gatemen got 3 runs. Tied up the game at 5. They take the lead here on the solo shot from Jake Little. Parrott from the stretch, and he paints the outside corner 0-2. John Borman on deck for the Gatemen. Wareham looks to get back-to-back wins here tonight. Wareham at 5-11, tied for the worst record in the Cape League with Yarmouth Dennis. Cotuit in 3rd place in the Western Division at 8-8. The 1-2. Fouled off to the left by Warren. Warren with that pregame adjustment to his swing. Changing the tilt of his shoulders, and well, it's paid off so far. 2 hits in 2 attempts. That's bounced in by Parrott. Not that Warren needed a whole lot of work anyway. I mean, he was hitting .302 for the summer.
And it's such a simple adjustment, too, just changing the angle of your shoulders. To do pregame, it may be a little complex, because that's taken on the outside, just because Charlie Warren may not think of it as he's walking up every single time or may forget mid-at-bat. But just a simple adjustment once you get in the hang of it and get comfortable with it.
Payoff from Parrott. Line drive sprayed foul. Yeah, Cooper Ferris, as a manager, definitely hitting would be his forte. Minor adjustments to these players as they come in for 8 to 10 weeks during the course of the summer. Doesn't like to do a whole lot in the batting practice right before the game. Makes most of his adjustments in early outs. 3-2, and that's taken for ball 4, a one-out walk that Charlie Warren coaxes.
Very tough pitch to lay off of there by Charlie Warren, but it worked out for him as he held the bat where it was, and now he sits at first.
From UTSA.
Charlie Warren works his 7th walk. Make that his 8th walk of the season. Mike Roberts comes out, and he'll look down out to left field and call to the bullpen. One out here in the bottom of the 5th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and WCTV. The Gatemen lead 6-5. They've got a runner at first, and John Borman coming to bat against a new Kettleer arm when we come back.
I'm getting weary. How far is heaven? And I know that I need to change my ways of living. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? I've been locked up way too long in this crazy world. How far is heaven? And I'll just keep on praying, Lord, and just keep on living. How far is heaven? Yeah, Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? 'Cause I just gotta know how far, yeah. How far is heaven? Yeah, Lord, can you tell me?
Pitcher number 3 for Cotuit is Gabe Berman, the right-hander from Western Michigan. He comes on here with a runner at first, one out. Bottom of the 5th inning, and the Gatemen ahead 6-5. Back with you on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and Wareham Community Television. Mike Monaco, Sean Malone, Megan O'Brien at Spillane Field. This game looked like it was going to be a pitcher's duel, Sean, like we've talked about.
The catcher, number 15,
Good work from
John
each
Foreman
of the
from
starting
UTSA.
pitchers, Jake Kalish and Jackson McClelland early on, but that soon changed in the bottom of the 2nd. The Gatemen got 2. Cotuit came back in the top of the 3rd inning with 5. And Wareham tied it up at 5 with 3 runs in the last of the 4th inning. Solo home run from Jake Little in this inning. First pitch from Berman, and Charlie Warren steals second with a high throw from Casey Schroeder.
And I was wondering if they were going to send Charlie Warren on the very first pitch. She's a very aggressive person at bat and on the base paths. And I saw him when Berman was taking his warm-up pitches. He started practicing his takeoff too. Practicing his timing against Berman.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, it's a good pickup by you. Was timing it up with Berman's release, and he steals second here on the first pitch. His team leading 4th stolen bag of the summer. John Borman, the hitter, with a 1-0 count. Gabe Berman, a right-hander, a Western Michigan Bronco, 6'2", 225 pounds. His 5th appearance out of the bullpen for Mike Roberts. 6 innings this summer, a 4.50 ERA. Hasn't struck anybody out this summer.
Part of that ERA is courteous to his outing against the Gatemen as he steps off the mound, pitched 3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and 1 walk with no strikeouts against Wareham earlier this season on June 19th.
He was one of 4 Kettleers pitchers that night. 3 of those pitchers really struggled as Borman lines it foul down the line. Really, Mason Klotz was the only pitcher for Cotuit in that game that came in and worked nicely. Blake Stevens struggled, and then 2 of the 3 relievers did as well. Pitching has not gone well for either side as well here tonight. Jackson McClellan got the ball for the Kettleers to start the game. 3 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs. Charged to the Pepperdine right-hander. Here's the 1-2 from Berman. Slice to the right side on the ground. Whalen up with it and over to first as Charlie Warren moves up a base to third. 2 away now for the number 9 hitter, Corey Ray.
And Corey Ray, if he can just get solid contact here and reach safely, just get something into the outfield to score Charlie Warren, that would be a huge plus for the Gatemen, extending their lead to 2.
He's had 2 pretty good at-bats tonight, Sean. The sacrifice fly in the second inning and the RBI single in the fourth. He takes one high right here. But that RBI single in the fourth inning, not only was it his first RBI of the summer, just his second hit of the summer as well. The talented and raw Louisville outfielder stands in. It's 1-1 as he fouls it back. Warren with outstanding speed at third base. The Gatemen leading by 1 here in the home half of the 5th inning. Back and forth we've gone at Spillane Field. Great night for baseball. The wind slowly whipping through here on the gateway to Cape Cod. Berman lifts his leg, the 1-1, and a breaking ball that Corey Ray swings right through.
And in his last at-bat, Corey Ray was extremely patient, waited for his pitch, and that's how he was able to turn it into an RBI single. He's got to do the same here as he falls behind.
Swings at that on a pitch low and away, and moving away from him, he strikes out, and the Gatemen leave a runner at third. They do take the lead, though, here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Jake Little on the first pitch of the inning, a solo home run out to left field, and it's 6-5 Gatemen as we head to the 6th on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and WCTV.
Stay up to date with all of our Gatemen content throughout the summer by liking us on our Facebook page, Wareham Gatemen Baseball. We'll be posting game highlights, recaps, previews, features, and other interviews during the season.
Whalen's going to get things started here for the Kettleers, followed by Byler and Fincher. Bit of action going on throughout the Cape today. And Mike, you got an update for us?
Yeah, we've got some great games in progress around the league. Yarmouth Dennis leading Brewster 9-7. Top of the 9th inning at Red Wilson Field. Bourne trailing Falmouth 8-3 in the last of the 8th inning in Falmouth. Firebirds up on Harwich 10-6 in the bottom of the 6th inning at White House Field.
Pitch from Fuller is sliced straight up into the air, foul territory. That's going to be just past the stands, third base side.
And Hyannis leading Chatham, the other game in progress. The Harbor Hawks up 2-1 on the Anglers down in Chatham. Seems like a lot of offense around the league. Every game of the games past the halfway point at least. Seen at least 11 runs tonight combined.
0-1 is going to be chopped, picked up by Lacey. Strong throw on it first, in time, one away.
Good job by Blake Lacey at shortstop. Just took his time. He took an extra second or so and then fired a strike right over to Hallam-Adair, something like we talked about earlier. Lacey has struggled with his throws, and he told us that from day one. He knows he needs to get his throws lower. Took the time to fire a strike across the diamond.
So now digging into the plate is going to be Austin Byler. Byler already has a monster shot home run in this game. That tied it up at 5 apiece earlier on. Swung on and missed there. Count is 0-1.
Nice pitch by Nick Fuller. I like the approach. Attack Austin Byler. Go right to the fastball. Don't be afraid of that. But he kept it low in the zone and blows it by the big first baseman.
0-1. The pitch. Off speed, and this one is lifted high in the air. Deep right field. Corey Ray backs up. Now he comes forward a little bit and makes the catch right before the warning track. Looks for a second off the bat, like that may be a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Byler caught that, though, just a little bit off the end of the bat, but Fuller was about an inch or so away from hanging that one up a little bit, and Byler would have launched his second home run of the night. Instead, it's just a flyout. 2 quick outs here for Nick Fuller. He's set down all 5 batters he's faced tonight.
And now Jake Fincher steps up to the plate. Fuller kicks and deals to Fincher. Fastball is high for ball 1.
Fincher had that line out to second base on a nifty play by Willie Calhoun in the second inning, and then Fincher popped out to Nick Halamaderis to end the third inning.
1-0. That one's a strike. Count is 1-1.
Lights coming on here at Spillane Field. The early 6 o'clock start time tonight, with it being autograph night following the game.
The 1-1. This one is going to be chopped on the ground, and it goes right through the legs. 5-hole of Rosenbaum underneath his glove. Again, the stone dust with leading to another very, very flat hop there. This time it goes past Danny Rosenbaum at third.
Yeah, fielding continues to be a problem. 3 errors tonight for the Gatemen. They had that errorless game yesterday, but 20 errors before that in a 7-game stretch. It's been tough sledding for the Gatemen defensively, and that continues here.
So now Glines, the DH, steps up to the plate. The tying run is on first in Fincher. Fuller sets and deals, and that one is going to plunk Glines. As like Borman did earlier, he didn't make an effort to get out of the way. So now Fincher, the game-tying run, moves to second, and now on first is Glines, who's the go-ahead run.
Yeah, the difference here, though, Glines is hit with a fastball that he just wears. Didn't try to move, like you said. Borman took a breaking ball, so he's a little bit luckier there. I think I'd envy John Borman's position more.
Yeah, Glines took a bit of a tougher one for the team than Borman did. They're not holding Glines at first, so he takes a big lead. Fuller sets, deals. Off speed is outside for ball 1.
Important here for Nick Fuller to settle down. I mean, he was rolling. He retired the first 5 guys he faced, and then the error, which would have ended the inning, proves costly, as on the very next pitch, Nick Fuller plunks Glines, and now there's 2 aboard for Jackson.
The 1-0, outside 2-0.
This seems like a pretty typical Wareham inning this season. Get a few outs, then you make an error, then the pitcher walks or hits somebody. Key now for Nick Fuller is to avoid letting any damage occur.
The 2-0 pitch. Low, hits the strike zone for strike 1, and that's what Fuller needs to get back to doing, Mike. Keep his pitches down in the zone, so that way if Jackson does hit it, it's hit on the ground. It's not going to be into the gap of the outfield. And even if it does get through for a base hit, one of the outfielders could probably stop it pretty quickly and not allow a run to come around and score. This one is fouled straight back by Jackson. Count is 2-2.
Yeah, good response here from Nick Fuller.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Game tying run on second, and he starts to take off the throw down to second. They have him in a rundown right now. Calhoun has it, throws on to Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum starts following him, fakes the throw, and then applies the tag. So picked off is Fincher. Going to be 1-4-5. Fincher is out, and what a play there by Fuller to escape trouble. The score remains Gatemen on top, 6-5. We'll take a quick break and be right back after this here on Wareham Community Television, Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Tune in to Wareham Community Television to catch the latest edition of Wareham Gatemen Around the Horn. your weekly source for everything Gatemen. Join host Megan O'Brien and catch Gatemen interviews, features, and other team news and information. You can catch Around the Horn locally and can also watch the online stream at warehamtv.org. Be sure to tune in all season long.
To me it seems you've lost your steam it seems you've lost it, demons haunt your thinking, freedom gone and all exhausted, dreaming dreams of fortune, all your deeds are all impromptu, not in sync with laws and warnings never heeded, while you block them marching forth and choosing what to keep and leave consistently, you're falling, all or nothing, please I'll tweak it out, I think I'm onto something, now you're beat to pieces, and the parts are busted, all your greatest thinking got you sinking in the rotten gutter, now it's nothing left but everything to gain, no options. You walk the narrow steps to the domains that have been called.
Back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and Wareham Community Television. Gatemen are up 6-5, and now the top of the lineup for them comes up, starting with Willie Calhoun. Gabe Berman remains on the mound for the Kettleers. Righty pitcher digs in to face the lefty hitter. First pitch, breaking ball hits the strike zone. Count is 0-1.
Sean, just to go back quickly to the top of the 6th inning, Cotuit's aggressive base running. This time it comes back to bite them as they had 2 runners aboard there.
This one is going to be lifted and shot into the gap in right center field and going to come down. Rounding first and digging out for second is Willie Calhoun. The throw is going to be wide. Calhoun, another awkward dive into second. And again, he's slow to get up. That stone dust has been a problem, both in fielding and base running now.
I mean, look at his jersey, man. He's really wearing that all over the white Gateman uniform.
It's like he just took a bucket full of gray paint and threw it at Willie Calhoun.
But that was an aggressive decision, an aggressive turn by Calhoun to go to second because Cotuit got to that ball quickly, but Calhoun was racing in. The throw was a little bit off the base, and that allowed Calhoun to get into second with the dive.
And now manager Cooper Farris comes out, just checks that he's okay, no trainer necessary. And there's going to be a meeting at the mound, and we're going to see a new pitcher here in a second. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, the Kettleers will have a new pitcher on the mound as the day for Berman is done. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back after this.
But Jesse, you are going with a double. Thank you. Yeah.
Who's to say what's impossible they forgot? This world keeps spinning, and with each new day I can feel a change in everything. And as the surface breaks, reflections fade, but in some ways they remain the same. And as my mind begins to spread its wings, there's no stopping curiosity. I wanna turn the whole thing upside down. I'll find the things they say just can't be found. I'll share this love I find with everyone. We'll sing and dance to Mother Nature's songs. I don't want this feeling to go away. To say I can't do everything, but I can try. And as I roll along, I begin to find things aren't always just what they seem. I wanna turn the whole thing upside down. I'll find the things they say just can't be found. I'll share this love I find with everyone. We'll sing
Back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and Wareham Community Television, Nick Eichholz is the new pitcher for the Kettleers.
How about Willie Calhoun just keeps on hitting? You heard us with some nice singing in between innings.
You were rocking out some Jack Johnson right there.
Can't beat it.
First pitch from Eichholz is fouled straight back by Blake Lacey.
But interesting, Sean, how quickly Mike Roberts goes to the bullpen here. I mean, he lets Gabe Berman just face one batter, and, well, he saw Calhoun double, he saw him make hard contact, and that was enough for him. Now we'll see what Eichholz can do, but Wareham with a chance to extend its one-run lead.
And now Lacey shows bunt. Nobody out, and the runner on second trying to advance him, and he drops this bunt down. Will it stay fair? Yes, it will. Scooped up. Throw on to first is in time, and keeping his foot on the bag is Byler, as the throw from Taylor almost pulled him off.
Very close play over there. I think he did keep his foot on the base, and then it fell off after he caught the ball, but that was a bang-bang play. Another nice job by Logan Taylor at third base. This throw, though, a little bit wider, but in any event, it advances Calhoun up to third. I mean, the goal there is to sacrifice the runner over.
Infield is now in, as the Kettleers are going to try and keep this a one-run game, and Keaton Aldridge is up to the plate, who's already 1 for 2. He takes an off-speed pitch on the outside. Count is 1-0 on the designated hitter from Memphis. Pitch, outside, ball 2. And pitching around Keaton Aldridge may not be the worst thing in the world here, especially with Nick Halamandaris on deck, who has struggled to hit pitches on the outside. That one's low, hits the inside corner. Count is 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, low for ball 3. So Eichholz falls behind 3-1 here. The 3-1. This one is lifted deep into the air, left center field. Outfielders are closing, and Fincher makes the grab and walks into the wall, slowing himself down. Calhoun tags up and scores, so the job is done by Keaton Aldridge, as this is now a 7-5 lead for the Gatemen.
Sacrifice fly from Keaton Aldridge. That's all it takes. I mean, that's all it takes. He put a good blast into that out to left center field. And Fincher had a long way to go to get it. No doubt that Calhoun would come in to score. We talked in the pregame, Sean, about Willie Calhoun being the guy to set the table offensively. I mean, that's what he does. 12 doubles on the summer. He leads off the inning with a double. It just takes a bunt and then a fly ball, and they get a run out of it.
First pitch is a ball on the outside to Halamandaris. The second pitch is going to be high for ball 2. Called strike there on the inside. 2-1 is the count.
Halamandaris 0 for 2 with a walk today. A couple of strikeouts as well. One swinging and one looking.
This one is fouled straight back into the fence about right in front of us. 2-2 is the count. The pitch. This one is going to be chopped back up the middle and under the glove of shortstop Jackson and into center field. Halamandaris is going to remain at first as he reaches base here.
The center fielder, number 9, Jake Little from Memphis.
That's going to be ruled an infield single, as Jackson had a long way to go to reach that one. That one is going to be inside, and that hit Jake Little. And he's going to hobble to first, getting a chance to run it off. And now Kevin Farris, the trainer, is going to come check him out, as Jake Little is still a little hobbled, walking around there past first base.
I mean, we were joking earlier about pitches like that, which ones are nicer to take. No messing around here. I mean, that one absolutely hurts. Low and in with a hard fastball from Nick Eichholz. That one will leave a mark, and that'll linger for a while for Jake Little.
Yeah, that's going to Turn a nice couple shades of blue and green when that bruise is on him. Jake Little still. Now he's going to try and see if he can jog it off. A little ginger. Manager Cooper Ferris has now made his way over from his spot next to third base and is talking to him now. And it looks like they're going to stick with Jake Little, and they will.
The third baseman, number 12, Danny Rosenbaum from Louisville.
So now Danny Rosenbaum is going to step up to the plate and dig in. Two outs, runners on first and second. Rosenbaum takes first pitch low for a ball.
We discussed going into this inning, Sean, Wareham with an opportunity to extend the one-run lead. Well, they've got it to 2 runs now, but Rosenbaum could come up here with a big hit.
1-0, fouled straight back.
He reached on an error and scored his first time, then an infield single and scored in the 4th inning, and then he struck out looking in the 5th inning against Ashton Parrott. That was pitcher number 2 for Cotuit. Nick Eicholtz right now is the 4th arm of the night.
1-1 is the count with 2 outs. Little is on first, Talamandaris on second. The pitch, this one's in the dirt, trapped by Schroeder behind the plate. The 2-1. Inside skipping out of the way is Rosenbaum as the count is now 3-1. And Eicholtz is 1 pitch away from loading the bases.
Yeah, it just hasn't come easily for Nick Eicholtz here. An even mix of balls and strikes for the right-hander.
The 3-1. This one is fought off foul by Rosenbaum, and with a 3-2 count and 2 outs, Little and Halamandaris are going to get a head start at first and second respectively. Time is called at home by Rosenbaum. Steps out and collects himself for a second. Eicholtz gets the signal and sets. Peeks down at second. The 3-2 as the runners take off. This one's going to be hit down the line. Foul. That would have been some serious trouble for the Kettleers if that dropped fair, because with little speed and him having a head start and it being that far down the line, Mike, I think he would have scored.
Yeah, definitely agree with that, and especially the placement. Not so much that it was far down the line, but to the line, to the corner. That makes it a lot easier for Jake Little to get around, even though he still looks a little bit gimpy running around out there on the bases after getting plunked in the leg.
Bit of a grimace as he takes off, and that is ball 4, and now the bases are loaded here with Charlie Warren coming up.
Warren's had a great day offensively. Those 2 singles to the opposite field, one to plate a run, another after which he scored, and then he walked after working the count full, stole a base. That was back in the 5th inning. Good chance to drive in a couple for Wareham and blow this one open a bit.
Pitch. That one's low, hits the corner for strike 1.
Wareham with 10 hits tonight, Sean. 4 walks now from Cotuit pitching. A couple of hit batters.
The 0-1. This one is fought off foul, 0-2.
This offense just continues to be outstanding for Wareham. The pitching hasn't matched it tonight, though Nick Fuller has done a good job since coming in.
Especially with 2 outs, they've been impressive on the season so far. The 0-2 from Eicholtz, outside for a ball, 1-2.
Yeah, the book on Charlie Warren has been to keep stuff away. He takes a lot of those pitches, but today he's handled that well. He's gone to the opposite field on 2 occasions.
The 1-2, and this one is fought off foul. Count remains the same. Eichholz sets. The 1-2 pitch. This one is going to be chopped foul once again by Charlie Warren. The 1-2 pitch. That one's in the dirt, trapped by Schroeder, so no one will advance.
Nicely done by Schroeder behind home plate. And that pitch bounced well in front of home plate from Nick Eichholz, but good job by Schroeder to get down, to be quick to that baseball, and keep Nick Halamader standing at third.
The 2-2. Fought off foul once again. That time it was smoked off what looked to be the top of the dugout of the Kettleers. Luckily, that wasn't a foot further. Someone could have taken a rocket baseball to the face.
Yeah, that'll keep you awake in the third base dugout.
2-2 is the count. Once again, Eichholz sets. Pitch outside for a ball, and now count is full with 2 outs once again. Bases are loaded, nowhere to put Charlie Warren, and the base runners will get a head start here.
Yeah, Eichholz really struggling. Hit batter, then a walk, and now another full count.
27 pitches this inning so far. The 3-2. This one is going to be hit on the ground, picked up by Jackson to throw onto first in time. So Eichholz escaped some serious trouble that he worked into. But the Gatemen put one more run up on the board, giving them a 7-5 lead. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this here on Wareham Community Television and the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. So that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost.
Back here on Wareham Community Television and the Cape Cod Baseball Network. New pitcher for the Gatemen is Anthony Kay, the lefty out of Yukon, now takes over for Wareham.
The shortstop, number 10,
Ryan Williamson was solid out of the bullpen. 4 outs, just 1 hit. And then Nick Fuller, 2 innings, didn't allow a hit. One guy reached on an error and then he hit a batter, but the bullpen has been sharp tonight in relief of Jake Kalish, and that's pretty important because Kalish had that 3-run third inning, didn't get helped out. There were 2 errors in the inning. It's only 2 of the runs charged to him, but Anthony Kay looking to continue Wareham's good work out of the pen.
Jackson takes strike 1 right there. Some substitutions for the Gatemen. Charlie Warren has slid from left field to center field, and Kyrie Washington has come in to replace Jake Littles. This one is hop to Lacey. He throws on the first. Strong throw in time. 1 away.
Nice play by Lacey, but yeah, that likely doesn't bode well for Jake Little getting hit in the leg with that fastball from Nick Eichholz.
The left fielder,
We'll have to keep an eye on him, monitor his status.
From
I mean, he did stay in the game at the time, so that's the first good sign. Probably just precautionary. Take him out, make sure everything's feeling good and can start to get that thing feeling better.
Especially in the outfield playing center field. I mean, he would have a long way to go. You don't want him to start sprinting and then tweak something because he heard it already. Swung on and missed for strike one by Colin Shaw. So I like that. You still have some good speed in the outfield with Washington, Warren, and Corey Ray. Not the fastest lineup we've seen them put out there, but certainly not a slow one either. The 0-1. Off speed is hit into the dirt. Foul. And Shaw falls behind 0-2.
Just 5 hits for the Kettleers tonight. 4 of those came in that third inning, so since then, in 3 innings, just 1 hit. That was the single from Glines down the line in the 4th inning. To begin that inning, since then, nothing doing offensively for Cotuit.
0-2 count with 1 out. After Shaw will be the 9-hitter Casey Schroeder. The 0-2. That one's in the dirt for a ball. The count is 1-2.
So it's been 10 batters coming to the plate without a hit for the Kettleers.
And taking some warm-up swings right now is actually Jameson Fisher, as that's strike 3 right there. So now it'll be Fisher who comes in to pinch hit for Schroeder.
Nice job by Anthony Kay. Really handled that well against Shaw. He looked good against Jackson. He's come out and really just done what he has done all summer, Sean, and that's throw strikes, that's be effective, mix in the slider with the fastball and the changeup. I mean, Anthony Kay coming into tonight, 11 2/3 and a 1.54 ERA. Now he has to face Fisher, one of the best bats on this Cotuit squad, but didn't get the start, was given the day off today. He hasn't played since Wednesday against Brewster, but hitting .277 on the season.
Lefty-lefty matchup here, as Fisher will face Kay with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. After Fisher will be Logan Taylor, who's the leadoff hitter for the Kettleers. First pitch is a curveball, drops through the strike zone too low. Count is 1-0. This one is going to be hit and scooped up by Willie Calhoun. Throwing to first in time. So Anthony Kay comes in and gets a 1-2-3 inning to knock out the bottom of the lineup for the Kettleers. So we're going to take a quick break, but first we're going to send it to Megan O'Brien, who has an update for us. Megan? Megan, we're going to send it to you now. Megan?
Thanks, Sean. We've seen many Gatemen pitchers today, but I caught up tomorrow's game, and that is Drew Harrington. Drew said that he's excited to come off of a good start last time, but he's worked with Coach Lawler and has improved his skills even more, and he's ready to face the competition for him here in the Cape League. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Megan. We'll be right back after this. Going to be John Foreman up to bat now. Behind the plate is now Ian Rice for the Kettleers. First pitch to Foreman. Swung on a miss. Foreman way out in front of that pitch there.
Good job, Sean, by Anthony Kay coming in. Just 9 pitches needed to get through the 1-2-3 top half of this inning. Now the Gatemen ahead 7-5, looking to add some more.
Eichholt steals. That one's low in the dirt. Count is 1-1. The 1-1. Low, 2-1 is now the count. The 2-1. That one's in the dirt, and now it's 3-1. Eichholz continues to struggle with his location.
Yeah, he had that long sixth inning in which he threw 29 pitches after coming in after Calhoun's leadoff double.
The 3-1. This one is going to be chopped, pulled, scooped up by the shortstop Jackson. The throw on to first in time to get the hustling Borman down at first base.
Really nice play by Drew Jackson at shortstop. He's been impressive all night defensively, fielding things quickly, getting to a lot of balls, and then making strong throws. I mean, he has one of the strongest arms we've seen at shortstop this summer.
So now it's Corey Ray, and on deck is Willie Calhoun. First pitch to Ray is a bunt attempt that's pulled back in. They're going to check down the third base side. Yes, he did go around, says Mickey Barra, the third base umpire. The 0-1. Outside 1-1. Pitch is low for ball 2. Corey Ray gets ahead here, 2-1. Two balls, one strike. Low and outside in the dirt. Count is now 3-1.
Yeah, the command just hasn't been there at all tonight for Nick Eichholz.
3-1 pitch. Low and outside. Hit the corner. Corey Ray thought that was ball 4 right there as he started to make his way down the first base line.
Yeah, I thought that was a strike, though. I mean, outside corner. If you're Corey Ray, why not try to coax that call, but look good spot.
The 3-2 curveball swung on and foul tipped into the glove by Corey Ray. 2 away here.
Really nice pitch from Eichholz. He goes away with the fastball for strike 2. Then he starts the breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. It drops back inside, turned right back in over the edge. Nice pitch, Ray, unable to do anything with it.
Yeah, nothing could have been done. Ray could have stared at that, and that would have been a backdoor pitch on him to get him looking. And the only thing he could have done was try and fight that one off, but he couldn't do just that, as it's now 1-0 on Willie Calhoun. Eichholz steals. That one's low for a ball. 2-0 the count. This one is fought off foul by Willie Calhoun. Count moves to 2-2.
Calhoun had the double to right center field in the 6th inning. And the RBI single in the 4th inning that Rhett Wiseman ran right past. And it ended up allowing a couple of runs to score. It allowed Calhoun to get to second base as Calhoun will swap out his bat. He's just been such a good table setter for Wareham all summer long. He leads the Cape League in hits. He's up to 26 now and 12 doubles.
So Calhoun gets a new piece of lumber. He'll step back up to the plate. The 2-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 3. The 3-1. Low and outside, ball 4. Willie Calhoun is going to take his base.
Good at bat there. I mean, if you're Willie Calhoun, you haven't seen a whole lot of control, a whole lot of command from Nick Eichholz. Why not just be as patient as possible until you're forced to do something? That time never came, and Calhoun earns the 2-out walk.
And look for Blake Lacey to do the same here, as if I'm manager Cooper Ferris. That's what I would tell everybody to do. If this guy's on the mound, just put the bat on the shoulder. Snap throw to first. Calhoun back in time.
Quick look at some scores. Yarmouth Dennis did hang on to defeat Brewster 9-7. Orleans up 15-7 on Harwich late in that game.
The pitch. That one's in the dirt for a ball. Count is 1-0.
Falmouth ended up defeating Bourne 8-3, handing The Braves, their 6th loss of the season. Falmouth gets up to 500 at 8-8-1. And Hyannis ahead of Chatham 3-1 in the last of the 5th inning over at Veterans Field on the other side of Cape Cod.
Calhoun gets back with plenty of time with that pickoff attempt. Center field playing Lacey a little shallow. The 1-0. And he's going to hit this one into deep center field, backing up his Fincher. He starts to settle, and he makes the grab to end the inning. So 1 left on base off of 1 walk, and no runs scored here in the bottom of the 7th for the Gatemen. Top of the 8th coming up after this here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and Wareham Community Television. 7-5 Gatemen.
377-372.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get back together, come back and see me. 3 days since the living room. I realized it's all my fault, but couldn't tell you. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry.
Hold it now, I want to look wink, cause I make you stop think. You'll think you're looking at Aquaman. I summon fish to the dish, although I like the chalet Swiss, I like the sushi, cause it's never touch a frying pan. Hot like wasabi when I bust rhymes, big like Leanne rhymes, because I'm all about value. Birdie Camper's got the mad hits, you try to match wits, you try to hold me but I bust through. Gonna make a break and take a bake, I like a sink and ink and shake, I like vanilla, it's the finest of the flavors. Gonna see the show cause then you'll know the vertigo is gonna grow, cause it's so dangerous, you'll have to sign a waiver. Can't I help it if I think you're funny when you're mad, trying hard not to smile though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral, can't understand what I mean, well you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve, I have a history of taking off my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me, threw your arms in the air and said you're crazy. 5 days since you tackled me, I still got the red burns on both my knees. It's been 3 days.
Beautiful night here at Spillane Field as the sun starts to set on the gateway to Cape Cod, 8:20 local time. And we go to the top of the 8th inning. Mike Monaco, Sean Malone, Megan O'Brien with you. Wareham ahead 7-5. The Gatemen looking to put together back-to-back wins, and they've done it today with the bats. Pitching hasn't been too bad. A rocky start for Jake Kalish, not helped out by some defense, but 10 hits for the Gatemen tonight. That has powered the performance so far. Anthony Kay back out to the hill. Facing the top of the lineup, Logan Taylor, the batter. Taylor had the 2-run home run to right center field in the 3rd inning. One of 2 Cotuit home runs in that inning. Both of those came off of Jake Kalish. Made his season debut, just activated today. And Kay now the 4th pitcher for the Gatemen. He comes back outside with the slider that misses. 2 balls and a strike. Kay needed just 9 pitches, Sean, in that 7th inning. That's really what he's done all summer long.
Yeah, he's been extremely efficient and has been keeping it up in the game here tonight.
Fastball, slider, changeup, and I think in each of his outings this summer, we've seen him mix the pitches so well. That's what's made him so successful.
He's been very crafty with his pitches. You can't anticipate what he's going to throw when. You know, he'll have no problem throwing a fastball for a strike in an 0-2 count or starting you off with an off-speed pitch.
But he runs the count full right now on Logan Taylor. Anthony Kay, the rising sophomore at UConn, 6'1", 199 pounds. From Stony Brook, New York. Here's the payoff. Inside corner, and it's a leadoff walk for Logan Taylor.
He grew up a New York Yankees fan, which I'm sure gives him a lot of love up here in Massachusetts. But he was actually drafted by the Mets out of high school.
Yep, the 29th round, and offered him pretty good money for late in that round, late in the draft, and then elected, though, to go to UConn. And he finds himself here on the Cape after his rookie campaign with the Huskies. Yankees playing later tonight on Sunday Night Baseball. Just about to get started against the Red Sox down in the Bronx. First pitch is low to Rhett Wiseman for ball 1. Got our own Sunday Night Baseball here and couldn't ask for a better night.
Absolutely beautiful sky. Not as beautiful as last night's was.
Oh, man, that was great. Heard it called the Cotton Candy Sky by one of the Falmouth broadcasters.
Why didn't we think of that?
Popped up by Wiseman behind home plate. Borman takes care of it, and there's one gone. Yeah, it was beautiful. Blue sky with these pinkish orange clouds in center field just sprinkling around, and then around to left field, too. Great pictures from that. We talked about it at the time. Everybody had the phones out. And why not get a great picture out of that.
Someone working for the Cape League was able to snap a beautiful picture of it that they tweeted out if you want to see it.
That's at official_CCBL. The official Cape League handle. Busy tonight. A lot of action going on with the 5 games, all of which have seen a whole lot of offense. 12 runs combined here. 1 out top of the 8th inning, and Caleb Whalen, the number 3 hitter, is getting set to face K.
And the middle infield playing at a bit of shifted double play depth as Lacey is playing over a little bit, but Willie Calhoun is playing pretty close to second base.
Here comes the pitch from the southpaw. Runs outside for ball 1 to Whalen. Whalen, the rising senior infielder at Portland. Came into tonight hitting just 178. And he's 0 for 2 here at Spillane Field. He did walk and score in the 3rd inning. Scored on the home run by Austin Byler, who stands on deck. That's low and inside, 2-0.
You want to locate here if you're Anthony K. You want to start hitting your targets. You don't want to put another runner on. That represents the game-tying run.
K's roughest outing of the summer was his last one against Yarmouth Dennis earlier this week. 1 inning, 2 runs. He gave up 4 hits before that. He hadn't allowed an earned run the entire summer. At the time, he was just one of 4 qualifying pitchers in the Cape League who had a perfect ERA. Still low ERA in the mid-1s. But a runner at first here with 1 out, the 2-0. That's low and outside, 3-0. Already 1 walk in the inning. And that'll draw Jim Lawler, the pitching coach, out of the Gatemen dugout.
Yeah, and Austin Byler is awaiting his turn on deck. The big, powerful first baseman who already has a 2-run home run in today's game. He would love to hit a go-ahead home run if Whalen can make his way on base here.
Yeah, the Kettleers only scored in the 3rd inning when they got the 5 runs, Sean, so it feels a little bit like they've been quiet. They have been for much of this game. They only have, their last hit was in the 4th inning. But still, tenuous times here with just a 2-run lead and the heart of the Cotuit lineup at bat and on deck. Foreman will trot back home. 3-0 to count on Caleb Whalen.
There's a righty warming up in the bullpen for the Gatemen.
Taylor gets his lead off of first. Here's the pitch, and that's a 4-pitch walk. 2 walks now in the inning for Anthony K. And the go-ahead run comes to the plate. Austin Byler already with a 2-run home run tonight. Can't forget too, Sean, he had another long fly ball out to right field that he just missed crushing. It was a breaking ball from Nick Fuller, low and away from the left-hander. He almost took that out of the park.
Yeah, he's got a lot of power, and that's why the Washington Nationals drafted him.
14 home runs as a junior at the University of Nevada. Byler's 2nd summer with Cotuit. Never really got going in the regular season. Did hit in the postseason for the Kettleers last year. He takes downstairs, and it's 5 straight balls from Anthony K. The appeal there to Mickey Garcia. Did in fact say it was a ball. The outfield playing Byler pretty much straight away.
And playing him deep, too.
2 of his 3 home runs this summer have come against the Gatemen. The 1-0 pitch. That's a fastball below the knees, 2-0.
And if you're Byler, just put the bat on the shoulder here and wait. Because Anthony K has yet to find the strike zone in his last 6 pitches. He's been struggling, and he may find the strike zone, but may throw you something right down the middle, just get it too far into the zone.
2 runners aboard. The pitch. Big cut by Byler. He wanted that one and fouled it back.
Yeah, he wanted to make the highlight reel there with a go-ahead home run. No such luck.
Byler, first team All-Mountain West Conference this past season. Not only did he have the power numbers that we talked about, he also hit .326. K sets, checks second, the 2-1. Runs up and in, and again fouled back to the screen, 2-2. Good job by Anthony K to battle back against the big-time power hitter.
Kay is going to call Borman out here. They're probably going to discuss what to throw here with a 2-2 count against Byler.
Logan Taylor, the runner at second. Caleb Whalen at first. 7-5 Wareham. The Gatemen have scored 5 unanswered runs in this ballgame. In the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, they got offense. Kettleers, meanwhile, just the 5 hits tonight. Nothing doing since the 4th inning. Byler the batter here with a 2-2 count. Kay's pitch on the way. High fly ball hit to the right side. Halamaderis can't find it. He doesn't know where it is. Now he's in foul ground, and that'll fall in.
Yeah, but Halamaderis was nowhere near it, as that one was pretty close to the fence. And yeah, Halamaderis looking all over the place for it. He couldn't find it.
That was bizarre with the lights on here, but still a fair amount of daylight. And Halamaderis, right from the get-go, had no way of locating that.
He may have saw it off the bat weird, as Halamaderis looked straight up, not to where the ball was going, and you saw him. He was moving his head all over the place. I don't think he saw it come off the bat. I think he just mistracked it, didn't mistrack it, excuse me, just completely lost it before it even reached its apex.
So Austin Byler will get another chance. That one was sky high off the left-handed hitter's bat. Now he waits, breaking ball, hooked foul. Anthony Kay had thrown a steady stream of fastballs and changeups, but goes to the slider right there. Byler able to fight through it. It's been 16 batters have come to the plate since the Kettleers had their last hit. Another 2-2. Same spot with a hard hit ground ball. Byler and Kay lodged in a nice battle. Kettleers trailing by 2. Their offense has been struggling all summer long. Tied for last in the league coming into tonight with 53 runs. Tied for second to last in hits. They've only scratched out 5 tonight. Kay leans in to get his sign from Borman. He's ready. And here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball, end of the bat, and it gets through into left field. Mike Roberts is sending Logan Taylor. Washington won't throw, and it's a 1-run game.
And smart play by Washington not to throw. You're not going to get Taylor out at home there. And the last thing you want to do is make a poor throw or even just tempt Whalen, who's now at second, to go to third and advance 1 base.
The center fielder, number 16, Jake
16
Fincher,
batters in between the hits here, but Austin Byler delivers on an RBI single to left field. It scores Taylor all the way from second, and Jim Lawler is out, and it looks like he will make a call to the bullpen. 7-6 the score at Spillane Field on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and Wareham Community Television. The Gatemen clinging to the 1-run margin, but Cotuit threatening here in the top of the 8th.
Like a bird I sing, 'cause you've given me the most beautiful set of wings. And I'm so glad you're here today, 'cause tomorrow I might have to go and fly away. Hey! I've walked right through my shoes. Just a small reminder of the hell that I've gone through. But look at me still smiling, 'cause I'm wondering what I'll do. 'Cause since I ain't got nothing, I got nothing to lose. Everybody say ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Well, my friends are always giving me watches, hats, and wine. That's how I know this is serious. That's how I know it's time. I don't have to worry about things that I don't have, 'cause if I ain't got nothing, I got nothing to hold me back. And 1, 2, 3, like a bird I sing, 'cause you've given me the most beautiful set of wings. And I'm so glad you're here today, some places I should go. From Happyville to Loving Land, I'm gonna tour from coast to coast. I'm leaving everything behind, there's not much that I need. Cause if I ain't got nothing, I'm footloose and fancy free. And
Top of the 8th inning, and the new arm for Wareham is the right-hander from the University of San Diego, Ryan Olson. He comes in to the game with the Gatemen leading by 1. 2 runners aboard. Austin Byler just had the soft RBI single to left field. A good job by Byler with 2 strikes, Sean, to just reach out on Anthony Kay's pitch on the outside part of the plate. Shoots it to left field to score Logan Taylor. Now Caleb Whalen and Byler on the bases for Jake Fincher, the number 5 hitter.
And lucky break there, too, that Halamandaris lost that fly ball in foul territory. Just didn't even see where it went. Byler could have easily been out there. Halamandaris is a solid fielder there at first, and with a pop fly like that, that's an easy out.
Yeah, would have been the second out of the inning, and probably would have got Anthony Kay to face at least one more batter, Jake Fincher. He stands in right now, the center fielder from NC State, 0 for 3 tonight, but some hard-hit balls. One was right at Willie Calhoun at second base in the second inning. A pop out to Halamandaris, and then he reached on an error by Danny Rosenbaum. A ball hit pretty well to the third baseman. But we're actually going to get a pinch hitter right here. Brendan Hendricks will bat in place of Jake Fincher. Hendricks, the rising senior at the University of San Francisco. One of the top hitters on this Cotuit club, hitting .375. 7-game hitting streak for Brendan Hendricks. Left-handed batter here to face the right-hander, Ryan Olson, who last pitched on Tuesday against Harwich. Got the start in that game. Sean, he went 3 2/3. He only gave up the 2 runs, though he gave up 6 hits, but settled down nicely and had 6 strikeouts. Big spot for him here facing Hendricks. 5th pitcher of the night for the Gatemen. First pitch on the way, and it's taken for strike 1. Olson, 6'3", 185 pounds. Comes in with a 3.64 ERA in a shade over 12 innings. His last 2 outings, he's been racking up strikeouts, 11 Ks in his last 8 1/3. Here's the 0-1. It's cut on and missed. Hendricks way out in front of the off-speed delivery.
And a strikeout here would be big with 2 on, and especially with a runner in scoring position. Just get out there for Olson. Just command the strike zone and send the batter down very quickly.
Olson comes set. Here's the 0-2. Low and in, and Borman moves to his right to block it and keep the runners at first and second. Cotuit hadn't had much of anything going for offense, Sean, since that 4th inning when they had a leadoff single. A double play ended that inning. They had all 5 runs in the 3rd, but they finally break through here in the 8th. They trim the margin to 1. Gatemen ahead 7-6. Here's the 1-2. End of the bat from Hendricks, and he fights to stay alive.
Good piece of hitting there for Hendricks. Not to go down easily.
Hendricks leads this team with 10 runs batted in. 5 doubles for him. That's tied for second in the Cape League. That pales in comparison to Willie Calhoun. Calhoun with 12 doubles after his 2-bagger in the 6th inning. Hendricks here would love one of those. Runners at first and second with 1 down. Continues to get dark here at Spillane Field. Olson taking plenty of time on the hill. Pitch back up the middle. This could be 2. Olson to second. It pulls Lacey around. They get the out, the throw to first. Double play. 1-6-3, and the Gatemen get out of trouble, and they'll hold the 7-6 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and WCTV.
Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise. Hey, baby. Yeah, when I first saw that
she looked at me and I turned on those KC lights and drove all night, 'cause it felt so right. Her and I, man, we feel so right. I put it in park and grabbed my guitar.
Ryan Olson comes on to get a big 1-6-3 double play to end the top of the 8th inning. Olson, the 5th pitcher of the night for the Gatemen. And well, Mike Roberts feels outdone, and he's going to bring on his 5th pitcher of the night, Reagan Bazar, the tall right-hander. And he'll face 3, 4, and 5 in the Gatemen lineup, beginning with Keaton Aldridge as Wareham's bats try to extend their lead. Cotuit with a run in the top of the 8th inning. Now a 1-run ball game. Mike Monaco, Sean Malone, Megan O'Brien with you. Bazar standing at 6'7", just finished his freshman season at Louisiana Lafayette. 3 appearances for the Kettleers so far out of the bullpen, just 2 1/3 innings. He's allowed 4 runs. Can't find the zone on any of the first 3 pitches, and it's 3-0 to Keaton Aldridge.
And already a meeting on the mound now as the manager is coming out.
Yeah, Mike Roberts known for this, coming out in the midst of at-bats, and he's also known for pulling guys in the middle of at-bats. A couple of strikes, a couple of balls, something Mike Roberts will do. He's certainly unique, the Cotuit manager. Managed here for a couple of seasons in Wareham. This is his 11th season leading the Kettleers, but Roberts was the manager for the Gatemen in 1984 and 2000. Both times the Gatemen were Western Division champs. Both times they led the league in stolen bases, something Roberts is known for. Cooper Ferris actually took over right after Roberts in 2001. And Ferris got off to a hot start. He won Cape League titles in 2001 and 2002. His first 2 years on the job following Roberts. Bazar, the right-hander. 3 balls and no strikes to Aldridge, who had the sacrifice fly to score a run in the 6th inning, his last trip to the plate. Here's the 3-0. Get me over fastball for strike 1.
Good job by Keaton just sitting there taking that pitch. 3-0, it doesn't matter where it is, just put the bat on the shoulder.
Aldridge fouls this off. Brendan Hendricks, who pinch hit, who grounded into that double play, stayed in the game in left field. Colin Shaw bumped over from left to center, and Jake Fincher, who was pinch hit for, is now out of the game. Nick Eicholtz threw 2 innings, threw 47 pitches. Now replaced by Bazar, who comes back all the way from 3-0 to get a strikeout. He fans Aldridge looking.
So Mike Roberts' mound visit works out as it looked like he wasn't quite yelling at him, but he was giving him a stern talk. I think trying to just get him to focus again, grow up and throw some strikes. Something along the lines of that, I would imagine. And it worked out as he threw 3 straight strikes.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
He misses with ball 1 to Nick Halamandaris. Bazar, pitcher number 5. Pitching hasn't been great. The offense has been going for both teams. Halamandaris ahead 2-0. Pitching continues to be a problem for the Kettleers this summer. Mike Roberts has talked about the maturity of this team, the polish of this team. Hasn't found either of that yet. This is a Kettleers ball club that has won Cape League titles twice in the past 4 seasons. They were the champs last summer. The year before that, when the Gatemen won it all, Kettleers had the best record in the regular season. They won the President's Trophy. 2-1 pitch, and that's a breaking ball taken for strike 2. Point being, this is a great Cotuit club. 8-8 doesn't look too rough out of the start, but Roberts expects more. Halamandaris takes the ball low, and the count is full. Long at bats against Reagan Bazar to start the bottom of the 8th inning. The Gatemen lead at 7-6, nobody on. With 1 down, here's the pitch. Fastball low, and Nick Halamandaris works his second walk of the evening. He did the same back in the 3rd inning. And an infield single in the 6th. A couple of strikeouts as well in Nick Alamanderis' second game back in the lineup.
Now here comes Kyrie Washington, who came in to replace Jake Little in the lineup. He's going to get a chance to bat here.
Yeah, Washington moved into left field in the top of the 7th inning as a defensive substitute. Charlie Warren went over to center after Little was drilled with a fastball on the leg in the 6th inning. It was an inning after Little had that solo home run to left field in the 5th inning. At the time, it put the Gatemen up by 2. Washington, the batter right now. Ton of power in the right-handed bat. Bizarre from the stretch for the first time tonight. The kick and the pitch, and that bounces in. It gets away from the catcher, Rice. And Nick Alamanderis is up to second into scoring position. Wild pitch charge to Bizarre. Came low and inside to Kyrie Washington. Washington hitting .278 on the summer. Big cut on the fastball up and away. Foul ground and into the seats. Washington had a home run against Yarmouth Dennis earlier this week. That was on Wednesday night. He launched it out. Got a little help from the wind as well. Followed that up on Friday by going 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He'd been on a 6-game hitting streak. We'd really seen him turn it around, Sean. And he's got a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He swings right through it, but this one gets away from Rice. And Alamanderis is 90 feet away.
Washington not happy with himself swinging at it there. But you're right, Mike. He's starting to slowly translate that batting practice, swing, and power into games. He still can be a little bit more patient, but that's one of the reasons why it's changing, is because he is sitting back a little bit more.
Alamanderis up to third. The infield drawn in for the Kettleers. 1-run ball game. Ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Ground ball right at the second baseman Whale, and he'll look Alamanderis back. They get the second out, so it pays off to draw the infield in.
Yeah, Kyrie unfortunately hits that one into the dirt. And nice job by Whalen. He knew he had plenty of time and didn't just quickly look over at third at Alamanderis. He stared him down for a good second before throwing over to first base.
There's a wild pitch and then a passed ball that planted Alamanderis at third. Now Danny Rosenbaum, 1 for 3 tonight. He scored 2 runs. Reached on an error his first time, then an infield single, then a strikeout. High fly ball out to left center field. Tracking is Hendricks, and the left fielder makes the grab to end the threat. Alamanderis is left at third base. Wareham leads 7-6. We're going to the top of the 9th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball Network and Wareham Community Television. When we come back, the Gatemen try to close it out.
For the Battleship Boat Passes, ticket 37.
Just because I'm losing doesn't mean I'm lost. Doesn't mean I'll stop. Doesn't mean I'm across. Just because I'm hurt doesn't mean I'm hurt. Doesn't mean I didn't get what I deserve. No better and no worse. I just got lost. Every river that I tried to cross, every door I ever tried was locked. Oh, I'm just waiting till the shine wears off.
7-6 Wareham, top of the 9th inning. Cotuit with 3 outs to work with as they try to come back. Ryan Olson back to the hill, came on to get the final 2 outs against the one batter he faced, the pinch hitter Brendan Hendricks. Took 5 pitches, but he grounded back to Olson, turned and threw to second base. Lacey was in the ballpark of second. They got the double play on a very close play. And the batter here, Jackson Glines, takes strike 1. Lacey scraped his foot across second base, at least in the neighborhood of it, and then threw on to first to get that double play.
Yeah, giving him the neighborhood play, something that you'll see called every so often around second base, just to prevent, players having their legs taken out from under them when someone slides into the bag.
That was the call from Mickey Garcia, one of the base umpires tonight. Ball and a strike on Glines, who was hit by a pitch last time up. That was in the 6th inning. Also had a single earlier, outside edge, but Olson can't locate. The right-hander with a fastball, a slider, and a changeup. It was mostly fastball changeup to the lone batter he faced in the 8th. Here comes the righties 2-1. Popped up on the infield. Calhoun a couple of steps in, 1 down.
Nice job there by Olson getting the first out. Only 2 more to go here to secure the second win in a row.
That would be a couple of good wins, done in different ways though, Sean, for the Gatemen. The 4-0 shutout victory yesterday, in which Kyle Cody only allowed 3 hits. It was the first shutout win for the Gatemen all summer. Today, a whole lot different. 7-6 the score right now. 10 hits for the Gatemen. The errors were a problem again, and it was the one big inning for Cotuit. 5 runs in the 3rd. Batter here, Drew Jackson, takes ball 1. So it would be big for Wareham if they could find a way to win differently tonight.
And the Kettleers did have a few errors on their own that cost them a couple runs as well, so it's not like the Gatemen were the only ones sloppy in the field.
Drew Jackson with a hard hit ground ball, a hop to Lacey, a long throw, and it sails on him. Jackson won't go up. Talked earlier about Lacey needing to get his throws down. He admits that. And that one airmailed on it.
Yeah, airmailed and sent wide right. That one just completely missed. Unfortunately for the Gatemen, John Borman was able to get to it quickly, not allowing Jackson to advance anywhere further than first base.
Yeah, Jackson didn't even really think about it. It's the 4th error of the night for the Gatemen. They had 2 in that 3-run inning. In that 5-run inning, rather, in the 3rd inning. Mike Roberts, the Cotuit manager, getting an explanation from first base umpire Joe Caraco.
I believe he's trying to argue that it went out of play.
Mike Roberts, known for this, always apt to get into a discussion with the umpires.
Let's go! Let's go while we're young!
Some of the fans not happy about it.
Do that.
Roberts still out there near the mound.
You gotta take control. You gotta take control of this game.
Fans getting even more disgruntled now, as you can hear.
Roberts makes his way back to the third base coach's box. He's been known to put games under protest. He's done that a couple of different times this season. Threatened to do it in the championship series last summer. Doesn't appear to be the case here, but you never know. 7-6 Wareham, a runner at first with 1 out. First pitch to Colin Shaw is tipped foul. Ryan Olson will try to shut this one up. The right-hander from San Diego. A role we haven't seen him in at all this summer. Started a couple games, come on for some long relief, but tasked with closing this one out. First it was Jay Kalish on the hill, then Ryan Williamson, who was solid. Nick Fuller was solid. Anthony Kay ran into a little bit of trouble in his second inning. That was in the 8th. And now Olson. Here comes the 0-1. On the ground foul, and it's 0-2. Shaw's 0 for 3 tonight. He scored in the 3rd inning. He reached on a fielder's choice. He lined back to Ryan Williamson in the 4th inning, a double play that ended that inning, and then he struck out against Anthony Kay last inning.
Middle infield playing at double play depth in case Shaw hits anything on the ground to them.
First time Shaw has faced a right-handed pitcher tonight. Olson, the first of the 5 pitchers who throws right-handed. Gatemen leading by 1, trying to get to 6-11 on the season. Olson keeping close tabs on Drew Jackson, who dives back over at first base. Jackson 2 for 4 on stolen base attempts this summer. As we've talked about, Mike Roberts, his teams love to run. 2nd in the league in steals coming into tonight with 28 swiped bags. Pitch out is on with the count 0-2, no movement. John Borman, we should note, with an outstanding arm behind home plate. We've seen that all summer. Risky to test it here with 1 out in the 9th inning. Here's the pitch to Shaw. High fly ball out to right field. Going back is Ray, and he'll make the catch near the fence for the 2nd out. Colin Shaw put a jolt into that one, but it just becomes out number 2, a loud and long fly ball.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it would have sent it out of the park, but the wind in the beginning of this half of the inning was blowing away to the outfield. But right now, if you look at the flags out in right field, it's not moving at all. The wind is gone.
Yeah, no movement really from the flag, just rolling a little bit side to side.
And now it's starting to sway just a little bit, but right as that play was happening, it was still.
So the batter now is Ian Rice, the catcher from Chipola College, who will bat for the first time tonight. This is the number 9 spot in the lineup. Casey Schroeder started behind the dish, batted twice, then he was pinch hit for in the top of the 7th inning by Jamison Fisher, who grounded out. And Rice came in as the defensive substitute. 7-6 Wareham with 2 outs and a runner at first, a tying run at first. And go-ahead run batting now in the form of Ian Rice. First pitch swinging and off speed, and it's fouled off. Rice was out in front.
Very crafty move there, starting off with an off speed up high. Ian Rice just fought it straight into the dirt.
He waves the bat in his hands. Rice coming into tonight, just 4 for 21 on the summer. That's a 190 batting average. Had a couple of plate appearances yesterday, 0 for 1 with a strikeout as well as a walk. Rice waiting, the 0-1. Slider drops in for strike 2. Ryan Olson ahead in the count with 2 down. Wareham defeated Cotuit last Thursday over at Lowell Park, looking to do the same right here on Sunday night at Spillane Field. The 0-2, and that's a pitch out. Borman thought about snapping it. Olson trying to slam the door shut here in this 1-run game. The Gatemen went up 7-5 in the 6th. Cotuit got a run in the 8th. Six errors combined between these teams. The Kettleers have just 6 hits. The Gatemen have 10. The 1-2 home, the runner is off. Called strike 3. Ryan Olson grazes the outside corner, and he slams this one shut. 7-6, the Gatemen top the Kettleers, and Wareham with back-to-back wins, Sean.
Huge victory for them. They get back on the winning track again. The 2nd time this season they've been able to put back-to-back wins together, and they still have to carry this momentum. They can't, like last time, go on a big losing slump once again and start losing a bunch of games. You need to start winning games in bunches and start to create a winning record from date blank. That's what they need to start doing, is almost reset the calendar and start focusing on the positives and start winning.
Well, as we approach July here in the summer season, the Gatemen have back-to-back wins. They move up to 6-11 following the 7-6 victory over the Cotuit Kettleers. Ryan Olson closes it out, and the Gatemen come out victorious. 7-6 the final once again. Wareham with 10 hits, 4 errors, the Kettleers with 6 hits and 2 errors. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the Wareham Rap postgame show coming right up in just a few minutes, live from Spillane Field, where the final score is Wareham 7, Cotuit 6.
Don't stop your dreaming, let yourself float upon the notion we can work it out. We gon' work it out, baby. Go ahead, lose yourself inside this opportunity that we gon' make it right now, make it right now.
Hey, we live and we learn, we crash and we burn. Right now my only rhyme is this lesson I learned. You talk about trust, I talk about lust. It's not appealing as you truly speak your feelings. I'll be looking at the ceiling, so concealing. Should've put my heart on the table, knowing I was good and able, but instead I fed your fables. If I could have you back, best believe it'd be forever. Cause each and every day you will hear those 4 letters.
Don't stop your dreaming, let yourself float upon the notion we can work it out. We gon' work it out, baby. Go ahead, lose yourself inside this opportunity that we gon' make it right now, make it right now.
Hey, these are different times, but we feel the same pains. The blood of mankind's running through the same veins. We fight to make it right, some would say remain tame. Same crimes, even though the names change. And we like different minds working off the same brain. Passengers on different cars, stepping off the same train. In the end, making it right's the main aim. Different parts of the picture highlight the same frame.
Don't stop your dreaming, let yourself float upon the notion we can work it out. We gon' work it out, baby. Go ahead, lose yourself inside this opportunity that we gon' make it right now, make it right now.
Yo, now if you know what I know, you need to work it out. If you ain't happy with yourself, you need to work it out. You having problems with your family, then work it out. The things we go through just to work it out.
Welcome to the Wareham Wrap. I'm your host, Sean Malone, wrapping things up here on Wareham Community Television, the Cape Cod Baseball Network. The Gatemen win their second straight game, trying to get back into just somewhere around 500 and back into playoff contention. Let's go over how that happened. It all started in the bottom of the second inning. Jake Little hit a hard-hit single to the second baseman on the infield. Then Rosenbaum would reach on an error by the second baseman, Whalen, advancing Jake Little to third, who would then score on an RBI single from Charlie Warren. Then later in that inning, Corey Ray would hit a sacrifice fly, scoring Rosenbaum from third to give the Gatemen a 2-0 lead, but that wouldn't last very long. In the top of the third inning, Taylor would hit a home run to right with Shaw on. Then later in that inning, Wiseman would score on an error by Blake Lacey, and then Byler would hit another 2-run home run, the second 2-run shot of the inning for the Kettleers, giving them a 5-2 lead. The Gatemen would slowly start to come back, however. In the bottom of the fourth, Rosenbaum would reach on an infield single to short. Then Warren would single to left. Borman would sacrifice both of them over. Then Corey Ray would hit a single up the middle to score Rosenbaum on that play. Corey Ray would advance to second. Then Willie Calhoun would hit a single to right field, scoring Corey Ray on an error by right fielder Weissman. And that would give the Gatemen the lead. Then Jake Little would hit a home run to left field in the bottom of the fifth, adding another run on the board for the Gatemen. Later in the bottom of the sixth, Willie Calhoun would hit a double to right field. Lacey would sacrifice him over to third, and then Keaton Aldridge would hit a sac fly to bring him home. Kettleers wouldn't be done, however, as it would all start for them in the top of the eighth inning. Taylor would draw a walk from Anthony Kay. Whalen would work a walk, advancing Taylor to second. Byler would hit a single to left field, scoring Taylor all the way from second base. But that is all that the Kettleers would get, and that would end the night with the final score being Gatemen 7, Kettleers 6. So the Wareham Gatemen hang on to become victorious in the game tonight. Make sure you stay tuned Coop Scoop coming up with Mike Monaco. That'll be followed with Megan O'Brien's Player of the Game interview after that. It's got to be huge for the momentum of the Gatemen moving forward, having a victory like this on a second straight night in a row and winning 2 different ways. That's one of the differences between good teams and great teams, just the ability to win in different types of fashion. You're not always going to be able to out-slug and out-hit a team on every single night. You're going to have those occasional games where the bats will just not be there, and you're going to need the pitching. That's what we saw last night. The Gatemen bats were not quite there up to the normal level that they can be at, but the pitching was. Tonight, the pitching wasn't quite there, and the fielding wasn't perfect either, but the bats were there for the Gatemen, and they had a phenomenal game offensively. Let's look at some of the stats for the game today. Willie Calhoun was 2 for 4 with a single, a double, a run, and an RBI. Keaton Aldridge was 1 for 3 in today's game with an RBI. Jake Little had that home run. He also scored another run on the game separately. He was 2 for 3. Charlie Warren was 2 for 3 in today's game. Warren also scored an RBI and a run. Corey Ray had 2 RBIs, 1 run scored, in a 1 for 3 outing. So good hitting all around for the Gatemen in tonight's effort. On the pitching side, Kalish was pitching extremely well until he ran into some trouble in the third. He only lasted 2 2/3 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Then Williamson would come into pitch for the equivalent of 4 outs, only allow 1 hit. Fuller would then enter the game. Fuller would strike out 1, allow no hits and no runs in the 2 innings that he pitched. Anthony Kay would throw an inning and a third. He would allow 1 hit, which would score 1 run, which was earned. He'd walk 2 and have 1 strikeout in tonight's effort. And Ryan Olson close out the game for the Gatemen. A clean slate. No walks, no hits, no runs. Didn't strike anybody out either, however. Fielding-wise, it wasn't the cleanest game for the Gatemen. Few errors on the night for them as they totaled up with 4. The Kettleers had 2 themselves. But in terms of the Gatemen, it wasn't a perfect game on the field for them. The fielding will have to improve as the season goes on. The Gatemen can't continue to field like that and expect to win games. We're now going to send it down to the field where our field reporter Megan O'Brien has today's player of the game, Willie Calhoun. Megan?
Thanks, Sean. I'm joined by, once again, Willie Calhoun, our Gateman player of the game. Willie, you've been here many times before. Another great game for you against Cotuit. You went 2 for 4 with a single, a double, a run, and an RBI. And now you've been the most consistent player for this Gateman team, and you've always seemed to be on a hot streak. What keeps that hot streak going?
You know, I just try to have fun out here when I play summer ball. I mean, I enjoy playing baseball a lot, so I try to slow the game down, just have fun as I play baseball.
All right, now, Willie, you told me in the beginning of the season that the reason that you were here for this Gateman squad was because of your offensive contribution, but you wanted to work on your defensive side, and today you had 2 amazing plays at second base. What have you gained in your fielding from this summer ball experience?
I think I got better aiming at second base. I mean, I played second base all my life, so I didn't
All right, now 2 great wins, and you guys look like a different team out there today. How do you guys take this win? The season isn't even halfway over, and move forward.
we just try to stay positive. We keep these 2 wins.
All right, well, Willie, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on a great game. And I'm sure there's a ton of fans up there that want to get your autograph, so I'll let you go. Congratulations, Willie.
Thank you very much, Megan, for that interview with Willie Calhoun, tonight's player of the game. And now we should be shortly joined by Mike Monaco and manager Cooper Ferris for Coop Scoop, just a few moments away from that. And Willie is once again the player of the game for the Gatemen, and I imagine by season's end he's going to at least be garnering some team MVP talks when the season is close to wrapping up. And now we're going to send it down to the field where Mike Monaco has manager Cooper Ferris for Coop Scoop. Mike?
For a 7-6 win with manager Cooper Ferris. I'm Mike Monaco. Thanks. Back up to you, Sean.
Thank you very much, Mike. Once again, you can find that interview online. It'll be posted later, the Coop Scoop post-game interview. Once again, the final score, Gatemen victorious by a score of 7-6. Tomorrow's game will be on the road at it'll be home versus YD, a Monday night 7 o'clock first pitch game. Drew Harrington will be on the mound for the Gatemen. You can tune in to the Gateway to the Game, the pregame show, which starts at 20 minutes beforehand at 6:40. Thank you all for making us a part of your Sunday evening. I'm Sean Malone signing off for Megan O'Brien and Mike Monaco, hoping you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good night, folks.